A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The new kind of granulated soap for all three kinds of wash.
Is anybody?
There she is. That's Molly Goldberg, folks. A woman with a place in every heart and a finger in every pie. And now the makers of New Does. That new kind of soap for everything right down your wash line bring you another visit with those good folks, the Goldbergs. Attended a sidewalk broadcast? Well, just consider yourself invited to one right now. Now, let's say we're standing on a busy corner of Main Street, and I'm going to stop the first lady coming down the street with a shopping bag under her arm. Oh, there's one now. Good day, madam. Would you mind answering a few questions?
Well, who are you?
Well, I'm a radio announcer, and I'd like your opinion on an important wash day question.
Oh, well, of course I...
Well, now tell me. What do you think I mean when I say Does is one soap for all three kinds of wash?
Well, I suppose you'd mean Does gets dirty work shirts clean.
Yes, Does gets them wonderfully clean.
And gets grimy towels white.
Uh-huh. Dazzling white. Well, go on.
Well, now, you don't mean Does is safe for rayon slits and nicer colored washables, too.
Well, of course. Didn't I say Does does everything? In fact, their colors stay fresh and bright far longer when you do them with Does. That's where it's so different from the four other leading granulated soaps. Why, the extra color care Does gives you really makes those colored things stay wearable far longer. And that's important in wartime.
I'll say it's important, but I don't see how this one soap can do so much.
Well, just try New Does. You'll see it's a brand new kind of granulated soap. And say, Does really gets your towels and linens gleaming white, too. Why, you've never seen more dazzling white washes than Does gives you.
Now, remember, I don't like to scrub.
What woman does? There's no hard scrubbing and no boiling either with Does. Not even for those greasy black work shirts. Honestly, no soap made gets clothes clean easier.
Well, when you say Does does everything, you really mean it, don't you?
You bet. Just try Does. It's Procter & Gamble's new soap discovery. Ask for Does, D-U-Z, and next wash day let Does do everything. And now, the Goldbergs. It's very late now at the Goldberg house, and downstairs, Sammy and Mikey are playing gin rummy. But their minds are far away from the cards. They're thinking of Emma. Sammy worrying, hoping, loving her in a desperate, almost insane way, and Mikey planning in some way to save his friend from this girl. Emma is not the kind of a girl that Sammy should love. There are a million reasons for him to stay away from her. And Mikey is trying to use jealousy to accomplish the parting. So, they play cards and wait.
Play another game, Sammy?
Why don't you go to bed if you're tired, Mikey?
No, I'm not tired.
You deal. I don't know what your game is, Mikey.
What do you mean? We're playing gin, aren't we?
Yeah, we're playing gin.
What'd you say, Sam? I didn't get you.
Yes, you did.
You said something about what's my game, huh?
I'm smart enough to see through your game.
Oh, that's swell. Meantime, Emma is out with Bruce Hanley, a man that can marry her and take care of her and give her a home. We're just a couple of kids. I'm in the Army, so will you be any day now. Why don't we just leave her alone, Sammy, huh? She'll be all right married to Bruce Hanley. I'll care, Sammy, if Hanley doesn't.
You play.
You don't think she'll have me, do you?
Take a card.
Man just has to put out his hand with a girl like Emma. If he had enough to offer, she'll take the highest bidder. After all, what do I care, Sammy? I'm in the war. I want to win it. I don't give a hang about my life with Emma.
What do you mean, your life with Emma? Who do you think you're kidding?
Don't be so sure I'm kidding. You know, if I have to leave someone behind, I'd rather it was Emma than Rosie. Rosie's too nice to be worrying about me. Well, with Emma, the minute I stepped out of the house, she'd be off on a new campaign.
Excuse me? Excuse me. You play?
Yeah.
You play? You're not tired, Emily?
We'll be coming up soon, Mom.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Gin? I was playing gin with Papa. Till tonight. Schneidet me. Put out the,
Mom.
I didn't say. You're sitting with nothing. Should I fix you something? I spill you a glass of milk, Emily.
No, thanks, Mom.
Mikey, knick-knock.
No, Miss Cooper.
I got peaches. Stewed. Huh?
No.
Nice cold peaches. Maybe an orange I'll slice you.
Nothing for me, Mom.
No. Mikey, could I see a minute? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Time is late, huh?
Why don't you go to bed, Miss Cooper? We'll wait for him.
Oh, I'm not worried about Emma. Not worried about Emma. Night.
Hi, Mom.
Night.
Night.
Bruce Henry's very nice man. Extremely nice. I'm not worried that they're out late. Not at all. Why don't you take new cards? I got a new deck. Why should you use the old one?
They're good enough.
Yeah? All right. No, I'm not worried about Bruce Henry. Why should I worry about Bruce Henry? He's a very nice man. It's very nice that Em will marry Bruce Henry. I'll be extremely pleased. Hi.
My deal.
Your deal.
Even your mother thinks so.
My mother will think what I tell her.
Why don't you? Your mother likes Emma. You don't think your mother would be trying to get Emma to marry Bruce Hanley if she didn't think Emma was everything a girl should be, do you?
Mikey.
You don't like the word wife when it comes to Emma, do you?
Well, that's 10.
All right. You don't think Emma... You don't think of her fitting in with the word wife, do you, Sam? Wife has always meant something else to you, hasn't it? And that's why you can't say anything to your mother, huh? Emma means something else to you, doesn't she? Something like a... Oh, don't throw the cards down. We'll only have to pick them up. All right, let me help you.
I'll pick them.
All right, don't push. Hey, is that a car?
Lay down, Sporty. Get away.
Is the car stop?
Yeah.
Bruce Henry's car?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go upstairs, Mikey?
Let's finish the hand first.
Oh, no. I'm through.
Okay. Don't let us see you looking out of the window, Sammy.
Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you keep out of my affairs? Why don't you let me work this thing out for myself?
Goodbye. I'm late. Are you waiting out for me?
No, we're playing cards. Come on, Sammy, I'm way ahead of you.
Emma? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry I'm so late. Coming to bed? Is it all right if I take a glass of milk?
Good deal, Mikey.
Yeah.
To playing cards? All right. You wouldn't be long, Emma? No. Good night. Night, Mikey.
Night, Mr. Goldberg. They were young. She just broke a plate.
Oh, I broke a plate.
What's the matter? Nervous, Emma?
Why should I be nervous?
Take a card, Sammy. Did you have a nice time, Emma?
Yes, Betty.
Do you like Bruce Hammer?
Why don't you go to bed, Emma?
Wait, Emma. Tell us all about it, huh?
What do you want to know?
Nothing.
Sammy, I don't like Bruce.
Oh, now, wait a minute. How can you tell you don't like him? Only been out with him once. Going to see him again, aren't you?
Well,
You made another date with him, didn't you?
he asked me to see him again, yes.
Go up, Emma.
I haven't finished.
Go up.
If you ask me not to see Bruce Henley again, I won't.
Why, that's foolish, Emma. You know, Bruce has a lot to offer you.
I'm asking her not to see Bruce Hanley again.
Good night.
What's the matter with Mikey? Sammy. You and Mikey are not good friends anymore.
Keep away from him.
Am I to blame?
Keep away from him.
Sammy, are you jealous of everybody?
Of everybody, yes.
Emma? Yes?
Wait, Emma. Wait.
Wait. I'll be down later.
Like someone drugged into losing his will, Sammy can no longer hear the very faintest words of reason. Emma is everything, and only Mikey may be able to help him. Here's an easy way to check up on whether you're using a halfway soap for dishes. Is it a bar soap? Then it's a halfway soap because it doesn't have real speed. And if it's a tough granulated soap, it only goes halfway because it's short on safety for your hands. But you can remedy this halfway business in a hurry by changing to new Does. Yes, that amazing new kind of granulated soap for everything in your wash. And Does has everything for dishes, too, from whirlwind speed to greater kindness to your hands. Just notice how comfortably soft and smooth your hands feel after doing dishes with Does. Actually, it's far kinder to your hands than any of the 4 other leading granulated soaps. Yet no soap made whirls you through those dishes faster than Does. It cuts even tough grease without hard scouring. Honestly, you can tell how new and different Does is just by the suds. Try it today. Does has everything for dishes. This is Clayton Collier wishing you good day for Procter & Gamble, makers of Does, the new kind of granulated soap for all 3 kinds of wash.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000, could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy's science fiction magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Lights on Precipice Peak by Stephen Tall.
We were sitting on the porch of the lodge, the 3 of us, Chuck Evers, Royston, and myself. Chuck was smoking one of those 5 for a quarter stinkers he affects, but he let it go out as we sat in the darkness, stared across the narrow valley below us, then up again to the mountains of Bighorn Glacier, 6 miles away and 7,000 feet up in the thin, cold air.
There it is. You see?
Where?
Well, follow my hand. I'll line it up with a tall pine tree on the first ridge. You see?
Very small, dull red.
It's been up there for about 5 minutes. I didn't see anything before. You see? Moving along. Well, it seems to be the lip of Bighorn Glacier.
Give me the binoculars. Yeah, it's a glow, all right. Small but definite glow. You want to see it, Royston?
Thank you.
Well, that's that. You can see it, but still you can't. The glasses didn't pick up any outline. It's still just a glow.
Spooks, that's why. Spooks.
Spooks? Yes. Apparitions.
Haunts. Hobgoblins. Ghosts. Banshees.
Well, at least these mysterious lights of Precipice Peak make no sound.
Are you sure? How do you know that every coyote that you hear is really a coyote?
Well, at any rate, if they make sounds, they're sounds of the country. A miserable country.
Sir, you were speaking of the land I love. If you don't like it, why stay around?
It is supposed to make me a man of vigor with red corpuscles and a need for cold shower baths. Actually, there is nothing wrong with me. I was simply born to sit and watch while great louts like you run and wrestle and climb and sweat. There, the light shows again.
Now, you can see it with the naked eye. It's higher than it was before. It's moving along.
It's going along Fifth Avenue Trail. Spooks don't need a route of ascent even on Precipice. All of a sudden, the lights of Precipice Peak are getting solid. Now, I've got a feeling they'll leave a sign.
Sign? Yes. Traces.
Right. Traces, tracks, spoors. The only mystery about those lights is we don't know who makes them. They're getting to be a tourist attraction. Maybe that's a lead.
Over the swamps of Louisiana, where I wish I now were, I have seen balls of fire that were drifting. It is swamp gas, methane, slowly oxidizing, glowing. Could this up there on the mountain be something like?
Almost impossible. Anyhow, balls of gases wouldn't follow a trail. Those blasted lights do.
Well, take it easy, Chuck, boy. Tomorrow you can look for yourself, remember? At daybreak, we go up to solve the mystery of the lights.
Ghastly. To go out at dawn is as bad as eating raw flesh. But tap on my cabin door as you go by. I will wave to you from the window.
We were down the slope from the lodge and across the valley before the sun rose. Chuck and I swung along the trail. Felt good having your nailed mountain boots hitting the ground in regular rhythm. Ahead of me, Chuck set the pace, an easy, loose-jointed shamble that ate up the mountain miles. We were a good team for climbing. I took a deep breath when we crossed the ridge. At the switchback, Chuck broke his stride and leaned his long frame against a boulder.
Well, tonight we'll be up where the lights are. Punch me if you see one first.
Lights nuts, there'll be none while we're on the peak. $5 says so.
Well, I'm not a rich man, but I love a sporting chance. Here's my $5. It's a bet. Where'll we put him?
Well, here. I'll empty this out. I got a tobacco tin. Stick it in here.
Okay.
Here's my $5. All right, we'll put it under the stone here. Nobody will find it under there. It's off the trail. All right, now? If there are lights, it's yours. No lights, it's mine. Right?
Right.
Going into the world above the trees is one of the good things of a peak climb. Hoary marmots whistled from their rocks. Conies scurried. Gray-barred ptarmigan crouched almost invisibly among the gaudy alpine fields of mountain sunflowers and tiny forget-me-nots. At dusk, we laid out our bedrolls on a level bit of tundra in the lee of a massive outcrop near Bighorn Glacier. We cooked a kettle of stew and heated the water for tea. Then Chuck walked away a few paces from the fire to empty the kettle. What's the matter?
Stone turned under me. My ankle. Give me a hand.
I got you.
Set me down again. Okay.
Now let's take off that boot and the sock.
Oh. Well, I have a feeling, my friend, that I will not climb that peak in the morning.
Get the sock off and let's see how bad it is.
Oh.
Well, we'll pack ice on it and tape it in an hour. Maybe it's a simple twist.
Oh, you know it isn't.
Sure, I know. I thought you wanted to be cheerful, that's all. It's like when I broke 3 ribs climbing to look into a bird's nest the day before we were tackling the east face of Long Peak. Then you would chin up.
Well, that was different. I wasn't hurting.
When the stars were out and the quarter moon rose from the plains, I got up from my bedroll seat by the fire. Chuck's ankle was taped, and he was easing it before him as best he could.
Well, that's not so bad for a foot. It only hurts by trying to walk on it.
Well, I'm going to have a look before we turn in. My 5-spot says there won't be any lights, but the technical crew may be monkeying around somewhere.
Well, take it easy.
I'll just skirt along the edge of the glacier. Back in half an hour. You take it easy. I know Bighorn Glacier. Its crevices are so consistent they're shown on maps. I carried an ice axe, but I didn't figure to use it. And I'd worked my way for a number of minutes along the edge of the moonlit ice sheet. I suddenly got the idea that I should cross it. The glacier had a good snow covering. The going was easy. The view was something few men see. I automatically avoided the big ice cracks. I knew where they were. And then I slipped through a snow roof and fell. I wasn't hurt. The moonlight from the crack above showed my ice axe beside me. It was a lucky fall, except for the fact that I couldn't get out again. Time after time, I tried to dig hand and foot holes into the splintering ice wall. But I was squeezing my fingers, making no headway. Cold was beginning to bite into me. So I settled myself on my heels quietly and tried to decide what to do. That was Chuck beginning to call. I knew if I answered, he'd probably try the ice himself, so I kept quiet. And after a while, he stopped calling. And then, suddenly a dark silhouette showed in the narrow crack of sky above.
Are you injured?
Well, I'm okay. Just drop me a rope and I can walk up the wall. Mind the snow ledge. I didn't, and look at me.
A joke? Here's the rope.
Hey, what kind of a rope is this? I never saw anything like it. It's warm.
Have you got it now?
Yep, here I come. Hang on. Okay, over the ledge. Well, hey, did you hold that rope in one hand while I was climbing up?
Yes.
Well, thanks. Lucky for me, somebody has sense enough to walk around ice cracks. Shake.
Shake? Oh, shake hands. You must not mind the glove. It is for your protection. The hand is not yet cooled.
Cooled? What in the world?
Your friend with the swollen foot is concerned for you. Come, I have made an easy way.
I've climbed mountains up and down the Rockies, but I confess, following this fellow, I felt like a tenderfoot. The man's odd voice and stilted phrases tantalized me, but I knew they were not entirely strange. There was the question of his hot hand. I dropped back a couple of paces. The man was setting his booted feet into a line of holes that had not been on the glacier earlier. I could swear to that. And as we approached the edge of the glacier, I could see him clearly, where he was surrounded by a dim red glow which grew brighter with each step. In a few moments, it was as if he were outlined in flame, and I could feel a warmth radiating from him. I wondered why the snow didn't melt under his tread.
It's the boots! They insulate!
Oh, I see. Thank you. Hey, you not only light up, but you pick brains. Both good tricks.
A joke?
I guess so.
Only here on Earth are there jokes. We can never be sure about them.
We, huh? I thought a gag like this would take cooperation. How many of you boys are in on it?
We are 4.
We had left the ice. We were threading along the little ledge that gave onto the boulder field. I noticed that the ruddy glow had faded completely, that the man up ahead was now simply a dark silhouette. We reached the tundra and spotted Chuck's tiny fire. He sat next to it, the tape-footed ankle eased on a pack sack before him.
Well, hello. You took your time.
I fell in a crevasse. And I owe you $5.
Oh? Oh! You should put the more important statement first. But we can take that up later. I see we have company.
Oh, yeah. This is Chuck Evers. I'm afraid I didn't catch your name.
I am called Zell.
Zell?
Yes.
Well, it's different anyway.
That is because I am different.
He can read your head like a crystal ball. And he lights up like a neon sign.
Easy, boy. You've slipped on the ice before. Sit down. Let's quit being funny.
Let us all sit, and I will tell you why I am Zell. I will do it because I know when you repeat my words that you will not be believed.
Now, listen.
You listen. You came up to climb the peak, but also you came to see what caused the lights. If you had not had misfortune, you would have climbed the peak, but there would have been no lights. We would not have come.
Hey, there's a light back up there where we were. You see? That red light on the glacier?
Well, yeah. Yeah, moving across.
That is Zor. We grew in the same membrane. He is erasing our trail across the ice.
Yeah, very smart. We can tell tales down there, but there won't be any proof, huh?
That is correct. Chuck Evers, you are wondering about the statement that we grew in the same membrane?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking...
I should have said that we are twins.
Holy... You're right, John. It is telepathy. You weren't out of your head.
The truth is simple. We have told it before, but no one ever believes. And it has not seemed wise to support our facts. We, Zor and I, with our companions Jim and Zet, are explorers. But we do not explore mountains. Here we rest and allow ourselves to behave normally. We explore in towns and cities where people gather. It is strenuous. We cannot tolerate it for long. Then we must go into seclusion and renew ourselves.
Yeah, I know what you mean. 10 days in Denver and I feel like I've been staked with a short rope. I gotta get away.
Your problems are simply a matter of preference. Ours are physiological. We cannot long maintain metabolic balance in the company of people. Thus, Jim and Zet are now back in the world you inhabit. When they must rest, then our turn comes. I will show you. This is a rock. You may call it granite. To me, it is food. So.
Eat it in good health.
Thank you. Among people, this would be conspicuous. You are not adapted to get oxygen from rock. We are.
Well, I'll admit that's a tougher cereal than I'd want to try. But the point of the joke still escapes me.
There is the matter of my body glow. I can control my body temperature, raising it and lowering it as I choose. The greatest difficulty when I am among you people is to keep myself down to human body heat. Normally it is much higher than yours. And when, due to exercise and metabolic speed-up, excess energy is accumulated, it is satisfying to us to radiate it, much as you get released by deep sighs, by long breaths, by stretching your limbs. Unfortunately, when we radiate rapidly in air, we glow. It has made us conspicuous. Yet your unawareness of us is a marvel. For creatures so well supplied with adaptation for sensation, you are indeed blind.
You sound like an old professor I had once. I didn't understand him either.
Zor is waiting by the glacier. We have plans for this time. When you return to the settlement below, it would perhaps be wisest not to explain the lights.
We both sat silently beside the dying fire. When we looked up toward the upper reaches of the glacier, two gleaming spots, dull cherry red, moved steadily across the ice. They were visible for brief minutes and slowly faded. To descend Precipice Peak, even if only from Bighorn Glacier, is no fit task for a cripple. Still, we knew it had to be done. So in the early morning, we set about it. Where the going allowed it, I simply backpacked Chuck. We made use of every ledge. He got Chuck could rappel himself down spots he could not climb or be carried. We were both mountain men and tough, but by mid-afternoon we knew we'd had enough. We were lucky, though. We ran into Heine Cobb, the ranger, heading down trail with 2 pack horses. We stopped only once, the big switchback. I got down from my horse, pried up a stone, took the tobacco can from under it, and gave it to Chuck without a word. Back at our camp on the lakeshore, Chuck and I weren't disturbed by questions. When men fail on the peaks, they tell their own stories in their own time. Chuck's ankle showed quick improvement, and in a couple of days he was hobbling about. Only young Royston came to visit us.
You have not been back to the lodge. Perhaps you are afraid to show your faces.
People talk your arm off up there. Not many of them have the gall to come snooping around here.
You cannot offend me. I was concerned for you. I was interested, so I came. Did you see the lights?
No, nary a light. I told you they wouldn't show up when anybody was up there.
You collected $5 from me, betting on the other side of the fence. You were the man who was so sure there'd be some sign.
I do not understand. You are both confusing everything, and you are both lying. There were lights on the peak when you were there, and I have a feeling you saw them. They were quite a show from here.
Well, this is the place to see them from. Closer up, you lose perspective.
Well, I must go. Friendship means nothing to you, so I will take my small hike back to the lodge again. Actually, I came to say that tomorrow I leave this miserable place and go home. I've endured all the health I can stand.
Now, that's a different story. We're sorry to see you go, fella.
My regards to the swamps. 10 to 1 when you get there, you'll wish you were back.
This I very much doubt. Goodbye, John. Goodbye.
Oh, there's a funny fella. Hey, what are you doing?
Just feeling the stone step where he sat. I thought so. He really liked us, but this time he was careful not to shake hands. Did you notice?
Yeah.
In spite of himself, he had reached his limit of control. His temperature is going up.
Yeah, I guess it is.
He never could see a joke. And remember how he'd say something and then wait, as if he didn't understand it? And then all of a sudden it would come to him? He'd wait to pick our brains for every new word.
You mean Royston?
Royston is a name out of a hat. When that lad really goes home, he'll go with his buddies up there on that peak. I wonder which he is. Zim or Zet?
You have just heard X-1 presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Man in the Jar, the story of Vane, who did not bottle live people indiscriminately. He had to have a sound business reason. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Lights on Precipice Peak, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Stephen Tall and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Jim Bowles as John Brinkhart, Joseph Helgeson as his fellow climber Chuck Evers, Ted Osborne as Zell, and Kurt Benson as the man who called himself Royston. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, Adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Protection by Robert Sheckley.
There will be an airplane crash in Burma next week, but it shouldn't affect me here in New York. And the Feegs certainly can't harm me, not with all my closet doors closed. No, the big problem is Lesnerizing. I must not Lesnerize, absolutely not. As you can imagine, that hampers me. And to top it all, I think I'm catching a very nasty cold. The whole thing, including the cold, started on the evening of November 7th. I was walking down Broadway on my way to Baker's Cafeteria with Charlie Lester. He's in one of my physics classes, and we were both feeling pretty lightheaded.
Boy, I've had tough exams in my day, but that was...
You got a cold?
No, I haven't got a cold. My eyes just water, my nose runs, and I sneeze because I'm essentially a masochist. Actually, it is psychosomatic. I hate my mother and my father. Of course I've got a cold. What do you think?
Well, look, don't give it to me. I've got a heavy date with a Barnard Jr. this weekend.
My boy, there is no such thing as a heavy date with a Barnard Jr.
Never mind. Just don't blow any germs my way.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'll leave you completely. I have to go over to South Hall to pick up some books. So long.
At the moment Charlie left me, I had in my pocket 5 coins, 3 keys, and a book of matches. Just to complete the picture, let me add that the wind was coming from the northwest at 5 miles per hour. Venus was in the ascendancy, and the moon decidedly gibbous. You can draw your own conclusions from this. I reached the corner of 114th Street and began to cross.
The truck! Watch out for the truck! Watch out!
Huh? What truck? Who? What? Well, there's no truck on the street. What? Oh, thanks, friend. If you hadn't warned me, I'd... Hey, where are you? Who said that to me? Where are you?
Can you still hear me?
Well, sure I can. Where are you? There isn't anybody here. Where are you?
Gronish. Is that the referent? Refraction index. Creature of insubstantiality. The shadow knows. Did I pick the right one?
What, you're invisible?
That's it. I knew the concept was somewhere in you.
Well, what are you?
A Valadusian dirge.
A what?
Would you mind opening your larynx a little wider, please? You see, I am using your sub-vocalizations to communicate. Now, breathe deeply. That's it. That's it. That's better. Well, let's see now. I am the spirit of Christmas past, a creature from the Black Lagoon, the bride of Frankenstein.
Now, hold on. What are you trying to tell me, that you're a ghost or a creature from another planet?
Same thing, obviously.
Oh, well, that makes it all perfectly clear. Any fool can see that a disembodied voice must belong to someone from another planet.
Exactly. I'm invisible on Earth, but my superior senses spotted approaching danger and warned you of it.
Well, thanks. Thanks anyway about that. Well, what are you? One of those strange voices that warns Aunt Minnie to stay out of the elevator? Which then crashes to the basement?
Something like that.
Well, goodbye.
What's the matter?
Well, not a thing, except that I seem to be standing in the middle of 114th Street talking to an invisible alien from the farthest reaches of outer space. I suppose only I can hear you.
Well, naturally.
Oh, great. Well, you know where this sort of thing will land me.
The concept you are sub-vocalizing is not entirely clear.
Now, look, please, go back to one of my childhood traumas where you came from and let me alone. Thanks for the warning about the truck. Good night.
Where are you going?
I am going to a saloon down the street, much frequented by Columbia students.
Won't you talk with me?
Look, please, will you cut it out? There are 2 girls watching me now.
But you must talk to me. The real subvocal contact is very rare and astonishingly difficult. Sometimes I can get across a warning just before a dangerous moment, but then the connection fades.
Well, you mean that is the explanation of premonitions of danger?
That's right. Conditions might not be right for this kind of contact for another 100 years.
Look, this is very interesting stuff for Professor Ryan at North Carolina, not for the physics department at Columbia. I have heard statistics about the overcrowding of mental hospitals, and I am not interested in contributing to that condition. Besides, there's a cop looking at me.
I appreciate your social situation, but this contact with me is in your own best interest. I want to protect you from the myriad dangers of human existence.
Get lost.
Well, I can't force you. I'll just have to offer my services elsewhere. Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye.
Oh, just one last thing. Stay off subways tomorrow between noon and 1:15 p.m.
Why?
Someone will be killed at Columbus Circle, pushed in front of a train by shopping crowds. You, if you're there. Goodbye.
No, what? Someone will be killed there tomorrow? Are you sure?
Of course.
It'll be in the newspapers?
I should imagine so.
And you know all sorts of stuff like that?
I can perceive all the dangers that radiate toward you and extend into time. My one desire was to protect you from them.
Oh. Well, look, will you wait till tomorrow evening? Those two girls are giggling now.
You will let me be your protector?
I'll tell you tomorrow after I read the late papers. The item was there, all right. I read it in my furnished room at 113th Street. Man pushed by the crowd, lost his balance, fell in front of an oncoming train. Well, this gave me a lot to think about while I waited for my invisible protector to show up. By the time he contacted me, I didn't know that I liked the whole idea.
Don't you trust me?
I just want to lead a normal life.
If you lead any life at all. That truck last night?
That was a freak. A once-in-a-lifetime hazard.
It only takes once in a lifetime to die. There was the subway, too.
No, well, that doesn't count. I hadn't planned on riding it today.
But you had no reason not to ride it. That's the important thing. Just as you have no reason not to take a shower in the next hour.
Why shouldn't I?
A Miss Flynn who lives down the hall is now taking her shower and will leave a melting bar of pink soap on the pink tile of the bathroom floor. You would have slipped on it and suffered a sprained wrist.
Not fatal, huh?
No. Hardly in the same class with, let us say, a heavy flower pot pushed from a rooftop by a certain unstable old gentleman.
Well, when is that going to happen?
I thought you weren't interested.
I am very interested. When? Where?
Will you let me continue to protect you?
Well, now, just tell me one thing. What's in this for you?
Satisfaction. For a Valadusian Derg, the greatest thrill possible is to help another creature evade danger.
But isn't there something else you want out of this? Some trifle like my soul or rulership of the earth?
Nothing. To accept payment for protection would ruin the emotional experience. All I want out of life, all any Derg wants, is to protect someone from the dangers he cannot see, but which we can see all too well. We don't even expect gratitude.
What about the flower pot?
It'll be dropped at the corner of 10th Street and McAdams Boulevard at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
10th and McAdams. Where's that?
In Jersey City.
Well, I've never been to Jersey City in my life. Why warn me about that?
I don't know where you will or won't go. I merely perceive dangers to you wherever they may occur.
What should I do now?
Anything you wish. Just lead your normal life.
It started out well enough. I attended classes at Columbia, did homework, saw movies, went on dates, played table tennis and chess, all as before. At no time did I let on that I was under the protection of a Valadusian Derg. Even Charlie didn't notice it, though he had a pretty good excuse.
Boy, are you lucky. I got stuck in that elevator for 4 hours. Say, how come you walked? I never saw you volunteer to walk 5 flights before.
Oh, well, a little bird told me.
Oh, boy, I wish I had a little bird like that.
Why don't you do something for that cold?
Why should I? What's it ever done for me?
Not even the Derg had warned me about Charlie's bad jokes in time. But he did his best. And once or twice a day, he'd come around and report.
Loose grading on West End Avenue between 66 and 67th Streets. Don't walk on it.
Of course, I wouldn't. Once I got used to it, it gave me quite a feeling of security. But the Derg soon became overzealous on my behalf. He began finding more and more dangers.
Look out for an overhanging sign on the Hotel Nacional.
Where, 48th Street?
Mexico City. Don't go to the hockey game tonight.
Where?
At Toronto. Look out for the Elm Street bus.
Philadelphia?
Omaha. Don't go surf riding today.
What? Surf riding? Where?
Papeete.
Now, just wait a minute. Do you plan on reporting every potential danger on Earth?
Oh, these are only a few, only a very few that you may be affected by.
In Mexico City and Papeete? Why not confine yourself to the local picture? Greater New York, let's say.
Locale means nothing to me. I must protect you from everything.
Well, it was rather touching in a way, and there was nothing I could do about it. I simply had to discard from his reports the various dangers in places like Hoboken, Thailand, Kansas City, Angkor-Wat, Sarasota, and Paris. I concentrated pretty much on Manhattan. He did save me from a pretty nasty holdup on Cathedral Parkway and a 4-alarm fire. But he kept stepping up the pace.
Tainted food in Baker's Cafeteria. Don't eat there tonight. Amsterdam Bus 312 has bad brakes. Don't ride it. Mellon's Tailor Shop has a leaking gas line. Explosion due. Have your clothes dry cleaned elsewhere. Rabbit mongrel on prowl between Riverside Drive and Central Park West. Take a taxi.
Soon I was spending most of my time not doing things and avoiding places. Danger seemed to be lurking behind every lamppost waiting for me. I rather suspected the Derg of padding his report.
All my reports are perfectly genuine. If you don't believe me, try turning on your lights in the psychology class tomorrow.
Why?
Defective wiring.
Look, I don't doubt your warnings. I just don't think life was this dangerous before you came along.
Well, of course it wasn't. Surely you know that if you accept protection, you must accept the drawbacks of protection as well.
Drawbacks like what?
Protection begets the need of further protection. That is a universal constant. Before you met me, you were like everyone else, and you ran into such risks as the situation offered. But with my coming, your immediate environment has changed, and your position in it has changed, too.
Why?
Because it has me in it. It is well known that the avoidance of one danger opens the path to others.
Are you trying to tell me that my risks have increased because of your help?
It was unavoidable.
Why, you miserable extraterrestrial con man.
Now, look.
All right. Thanks for everything. I'll see you on Mars or wherever you hang out.
You don't want any further protection?
You guessed it. Don't slam the door on your way out.
But what's wrong? Your risks have increased, but my capacity for detection is more than ample to cope with it. I'm happy to cope with it. So it still represents a net gain in protection for you.
Yeah, I know what happens next. My risks just keep on increasing, don't they?
Not at all. As far as accidents are concerned, you have reached the quantitative limit.
What does that mean?
It means that there will be no further increase in the number of accidents you must avoid.
Look, if you leave me alone, my original environment will return, won't it? And with it, my original risks?
Eventually. If you survive.
Fine. I'll take that chance.
You cannot afford to send me away. Tomorrow...
No. Don't tell me. I'll avoid the accidents on my own.
I wasn't thinking of accidents.
What then?
I hardly know how to tell you. A gamper is after you.
Oh, a what? Now, what kind of a gag is this?
A gamper is a creature from my environment. I suppose he was attracted by your increased potentiality for avoiding risk due to my protection.
Now, look, you can take your gamper.
If he comes, try driving him off with mistletoe. Iron is often effective if bonded to copper.
Will you get out of here?
Are you sure?
Beat it. Blow. Scram. Get out. Go on.
All right. Goodbye.
Are you gone? Are you really gone? Good riddance. What's that? Derg, is that you? Hey, your motor's running. Derg? What is it? What is that? What is that? Oh, it's the gamper. Derg, get me out of this. Derg, get me out. Derg, come back, Derg.
Did you call? Oh, The Gamper. Mistletoe. Wave it at the Gamper.
Where in blazes am I going to get mistletoe?
Iron copper, then. Copper.
Oh, I've got a paperweight on my desk.
The chair leg is iron. Touch it with the copper. Quick! You see? You need my protection. The Gamper almost got you.
Yes, it sure did.
You'll need some things. Wolfbane, amaranth, garlic, graveyard mold.
But the Gamper is gone.
Yes. However, the grailers remain, and you'll need safeguard against the leaps, the figs, and the melgarizer. I'll give you a list.
He gave me a list, and I went shopping. I ran into Charlie at the supermarket.
Hey, Bob! Where you been?
Wolfbane, amaranth, garlic. They must have garlic.
Well, sure, they got garlic over here. Oh. Well, I guess you know what I came in for.
Tissues?
What else?
Well, now, let me see. Graveyard mold. You think they'd have it here?
Hey, boy, what's the matter with you? You look white as a ghost.
I'm white as a Gamper, or a grailer, or a leap, or a fig.
Well, what is that, jive talk?
Please, Charlie, don't bother me. I'm busy.
All right.
Who has the nearest graveyard that would be moldy this time of year? It was a game between these extraterrestrials, and I was in it. Some of them wanted to kill me, some to protect me. None of them cared for me, not even the Derg. And the situation was all my fault. At the beginning, I had the accumulated wisdom of the human race at my disposal. That tremendous and distinctive hatred of witches and ghosts, the irrational fear of alien life. For my adventure has been played out 1,000 times, and the story is told again and again, how a man dabbles in strange arts and summons up a spirit. By so doing, he attracts attention to himself, the worst thing of all. So I was welded inseparably to the Derg, and the Derg to me. Until yesterday, that is. Charlie came to my room to visit.
Hey, boy, how you been? I haven't seen you in class for a while. Oh, you mind if I hang up my coat?
No, don't. No, don't open the closet door.
Well, what's the matter? What's in there?
Nothing, only that's the only way to hold off the figs, by keeping closet doors closed. The leaps are more menacing, but the eye of a toad seems to stop them. And the melgarizer is dangerous only in the full of the moon.
Only in the... Uh-huh. Well, Bob, it's been grand. Bye.
You are in danger.
What? Who? What again? What is it this time?
It is the Thrang who pursues us.
Us?
Yes, myself as well as you. For even the Derg must run from risk and danger.
Well, is this Thrang particularly dangerous?
Very.
Well, what do I do? Snakeskin over the door? A pentagon? Burn incense? Anything?
None of these. The Thrang must be dealt with negatively by the avoidance of certain actions.
All right. What shouldn't I do?
You must not Lesnerize.
I must... Lesnerize? What's that?
Well, surely you know it's a simple, everyday human action.
Well, I probably know it under a different name. Explain.
Very well. To Lesnerize is to...
What?
It is here. The Thrang. The Thrang is here.
Derg, where are you? What should I do?
It has me.
What should I do?
It has me. I'm going. The Thrang. Don't Lesnerize. Don't Lesnerize. Don't.
So I'm sitting tight now. There'll be an airplane crash in Burma next week, but it shouldn't affect me here in New York. And the figs certainly can't harm me. No, not with all my closet doors closed. No, the problem is Lesnerizing. I must not Lesnerize, absolutely not. If I can keep from Lesnerizing, everything will pass and the chase will move elsewhere. It must. All I have to do is wait them out. Trouble is, I don't have any idea what Lesnerizing might be. A common human action, the Derg said. Well, at the moment, I'm avoiding as many actions as possible. I've caught up on some back sleep, and nothing's happened. So that's not Lesnerizing. I went out and bought food, cooked it, and ate it. That wasn't Lesnerizing. I'm telling you the story, and that isn't Lesnerizing. I'll get out of this yet. I will get out of it. I'm going to catch a nap now. I think I've caught Charlie's cold.
I think I'm going to have to...
You have been listening to Protection by Robert Sheckley on X-1. X-1 is presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Survival Kit by Frederick Pohl. The story of Mooney, a smart but luckless man who had to scrounge while his friend Harse always made out well, just because he owned a survival kit. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Protection, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were William Redfield as Bob of the Final and Fatal Sneeze, Elliot Reed as his breezy pal Charlie, and William Keane as the foreseeing Durg. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The signal to submerge the magic island, the weird island of Euclidia. On board the Gregory yacht, Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory hurriedly transfer their valuables to the other captive boat, which is to be used in the escape, as they await anxiously for word from Jerry and Joan. The youngsters have gone down into the mysterious depths of the island in a brave attempt to cripple the Euclidean machinery and postpone pursuit of the Gregory boat. The boat is supposed to steal out of the lock at 8 o'clock. It is now after 7:30. How can Jerry and Joan get back to the yacht in time, if they get back at all? They are now making their way up a narrow and dangerous spiral concrete tube running from the top to the bottom of the island.
Are you doing all right, Joan?
I'm very tired, Jerry, but I will reach the platform.
Gee, we've climbed 50 feet up the inside of this cement baggage chute.
Not quite. It will be 50 feet when we get to that little platform.
Okay, kid. Don't lose your nerve. Now then, I've got my back braced against this thing. I think I can hold you. Let one of your feet slide. Slow now.
Oh.
Slide it down the wall and see if I can hold it with my hand.
I feel as if I would fall, Jerry. You must hurry.
I got your foot all right, Joan. Now, I'll push as hard as I can without sliding down this thing. You try to crawl up far enough to get your hands over the edge of the platform. Ready?
I nearly have it. Yes, I have my hands on it.
Good. Then start pulling yourself up as hard as you can. I'll help you.
I think I can get on it now. Oh, Jerry, I am up.
Oh, swell. Now, if I can only stick here like a fly until I get my breath, I'll see if I can get up there.
This platform is large enough for me to lie down on. I will lie flat and hold my arms down to you. Then I can help you up.
Yeah, if I don't pull you off of there and both of us shoot down this thing again.
Oh, Jerry, I have found a small concrete arch behind which I may hook my heels. So, now I will be able to hold you. Give me your hands. Don't be afraid, Jerry. I can hold you easily.
Okay. Now I get my elbow up on this thing. Here we come. Oh, boy.
Oh, that was a terrible experience. And we are only halfway up now. This platform is on the 5th level.
Well, then we'll just have to go out into the 5th level, take our chances with what we find there. Neither of us can make another 50 feet of that.
You are right. It would be impossible.
Our hands and feet are probably all cut up now. Climbing 50 feet in a concrete pipe with your bare hands and stocking feet doesn't put you in very good shape for more climbing.
I think we are in our bare feet now, Jerry. The stockings must be cut to ribbons.
Oh, can I turn my flashlight on for a minute? I want to see what shape we're in before we run out there. We can be ready to answer questions about what happened to us when we find out what did happen.
I think you may use the light, Jerry.
Okay. Oh, gee, Joan, your feet are cut up awful bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, do not stop to be sorry now, Jerry. Listen.
Gee, they're still submerging this thing.
No, Jerry. They have not started to submerge it as yet.
But we heard the signal when we started to climb up here. And that must have taken us 15 or 20 minutes.
But the signal we heard just now, those 6 strokes on the alarm gong, means to stand by all stations to submerge. It must be that they are having trouble with the submerging operation.
Well, I hope we fixed up their old power plant so they can't ever submerge this crazy Euclidia again.
There is little hope there. It will be only a matter of time until they pump out the water that we let into the power chambers.
Then let's get going. We've got to make it to that radio room on the top and get a message off to Johnson before this goes under.
That signal to submerge will have taken all men to their stations, and there are no control stations in the sound channel. This platform opens off the sound channel. We will have to take a desperate chance, Jerry.
That won't be anything new for us. What is it?
We must cross the sound room and enter the private elevator of the control group.
Well, I'm ready to take the chance. Where will that elevator take us?
Directly into the voice transmission chambers on the surface of Euclidia. Then we will have to take over the controls and send the message.
Sounds easy. Okay, my little barefoot boy. Here we go.
Open the door gently, Jerry. Be sure that no one is in the sound chamber.
Yeah, check. Huh? No. Looks okay. I'm glad this is one of those noiseless doors.
Go on into the room, Jerry. We must hurry.
Yeah. Here we go, then. Now, where is that elevator?
In that corner of the room. We must pass through the sound zone. Do not shout as you did before.
Okay, I'll watch it. But what are we going to do if we find somebody waiting for us at the top of that elevator? Hey, listen to my voice.
Yes, Jerry. I warned you not to shout.
And now our bare feet sound like we had boots on.
We will be out of the zone in a few steps.
It'll be all right with me. I like noise when I want it, but when I'm trying to be quiet and... Hey, now the voice comes out right side up again.
And we are approaching the private elevator.
And when we get in this thing, can they hear our voices in the control room?
Certainly. We will be able to say nothing until we arrive in the control room on the surface level. Then I will speak to the guard, find some excuse to make him turn his back to me, and use the ray gun on him. That will give you 5 minutes to get the message to Johnson. Now open the door, Jerry.
Okay.
Speak no word until we meet the guard.
Yeah. You'd better run the elevator when we get in it. I never saw how this one works.
I shall do so. We may count the levels as we pass by the magnets moving the car. Now silence.
At which time you will report immediately to the control chamber. Station 91, Station 91. You will use all speed in discovering cause of delay in submerging. Check the entire 9th level by photo ray. At which time you will report immediately to the control chamber. Emergency diving stations. Signal to submerge. Repeat at 60-second intervals until operation begins. Signal stand by to submerge. Clear all channels to this chamber. Execute. What are you doing here, Cleostra?
I have come with this prisoner.
He was given permission to go to the laboratory to aid in reviving the sleeping scientists. When we arrived at the laboratory, he refused. I was instructed to return him to the surface.
You young man, sit over there, in that steel chair. Not there. Over here. Must I put you in the chair?
Gee, you did it again, Joan. You're sure slick with that ray gun.
He will sleep for 5 minutes, Jerry. That is not long. We must operate the voice transmission apparatus at once.
Is he the only guard in this place?
In this room, yes. Though in the power dispatching chamber directly below us, another guard is on duty.
Well, wouldn't he hear this ray gun go off?
No. That door leads to his room. It is closed and soundproof.
This seems too easy to me. Is there always just one guard in these places?
Of course not. But the others are busy trying to revive the sleeping chemists and preparing to submerge the island.
Yes, but
Oh, Jerry, please. This is no time to argue. I will set the transmitter on the northerly directional beam. We must raise Johnson at once. I will also close all these local communication circuits so that there is no danger of anything we say being heard elsewhere on the island. Oh, Jerry.
Huh? What's the matter now?
This microphone was open. The intercommunicating circuit to the lower levels.
Gee, then somebody might have heard that ray gun.
Yes. Hurry with the message, Jerry.
Well, where do I talk? I mean, where's the beam thing I want?
Directly in front of you now, Jerry. I will give you the message quietly. You may repeat it. Get any station quickly.
Right. Here we go. J12C, Jerry Hall to any station. Emergency. Can you hear me, Wilmington? Hurry it up. Hello, J12C. Hello.
Hello. Waiting for hours with set wide open. Shoot it fast. I'm ready.
Here it comes. Take it over, Joan. You can save time if I don't have to repeat it.
Joan Gregory to J12C. Message from Bradford. This is it. Every indication going have trouble. Possibly may feel unwise even leave free in this yacht. Many islanders lying enforced sleep. Doesn't indicate especially sincere enjoyment. Longer unusual silence envelops. Our waiting now. Perhaps later advice, nearer solution. That is all.
Right. Checking now. Your position sounds hopeless, but we'll let you know if I can contact the ship station. Anything else?
That is all.
Nice work, Joan. Johnson's got our message. But how far from the island is he? And how long will it take him to get here?
I have copied his answer. I think the captain will have a code for it.
Got your message here on the yacht. Good work, kids, but it's no use. They're pulling the yacht inside the lock again. And we're going to be submerged with the island. Better stay where you are. Dangerous to try getting back to yacht now.
We'll be all right here, Tex. We'll come through the island and meet you in the lock.
Right. Have cut Johnson's boat adrift. Orders from the island. Lock too small for 2 boats. So Johnson's boat is a total loss. Drifting out to sea.
The captain said they had cut the other boat loose, Jerry. And the yacht is being taken into the lock. Oh, that is wonderful.
You bet it's wonderful. Those guys don't know they're taking an empty boat into the lock. And that Captain Bradford and your mother and all our friends are on the boat they've turned loose. It's out in the open water now, Joan. The boat is free.
They've started to submerge, Jerry. In a moment, this room will be going underwater.
Then we'll swim for it. Come on, Joan. At least we can float, but Euclid is sunk.
When Jerry and Joan went down into the lower levels of the Magic Island, it was a desperate chance, but they succeeded in flooding the power rooms and cutting off most of the power on the island. Now they are in the radio chamber, sending instructions to Johnson, who is waiting north of the island, with another boat to aid in their escape. Captain Tex Bradford, Mrs. Gregory, and their crew are hidden in one of the captive boats, while Mrs. Gregory's yacht has been drawn into a lock and will be submerged with the island. The signal to submerge is being repeated as Jerry and Joan rush their plans in the radio room on top of the island. It is after dark, just 10 minutes before 8 o'clock, exactly 10 minutes before the time planned for their escape.
That's all I've got time for now, J12C. Things are happening pretty fast here. We'll let you know as soon as you can safely call us on another wavelength.
Right, Jerry. I'll be standing by exactly as directed in your last message. Good luck, all. I'll keep it open till you call again.
Okay, Johnson. That's all. Gee, Joan, are you sure it was safe for me to come right out and talk to Johnson like that? What was does that signal mean?
The submerging operation will actually begin now.
Well, let's get busy. What do we have to do?
I can do it much faster alone. You watch that guard on the floor. Remember, I only used a 300-second ray on him. The 5 minutes are nearly up. When he awakens, the instant he starts to move, use the ray gun again. Be sure it strikes him in the back of the neck.
Okay, Joan. I'll watch him. Hey, what are you doing down there?
First, I'll lock the guard in the room below. The magnetic locks will hold him until released by someone else. I throw the magnet, so...
Oh, now he can't get out to bother us, huh?
No. Now I will set all these levers in order. That will lock every chamber on the island, and it will be some time before any of the Euclideans will be able to pursue us, I think.
Boy, you sure know this island. Hey, did you feel the island shake a little bit then?
Yes, Jerry. The submerging has begun. But it will be very slow with the power rooms flooded as we left them. We will have ample time to lock all these levers.
Gee, I just got him in time. He sure started to wake up fast. Now we'll sleep for another 5 minutes, huh?
Yes. There. I think I have locked every chamber on the island.
Then we can send that last message to Johnson and get out of here, can't we?
At once. You may send it now, Jerry. You will be quite safe. Even if some station within the island might receive the message, they would be unable to act on it.
Swell. Here goes. Jerry Hall of J12C. Hello, Johnson. Hello.
Hello, Jerry. Go ahead.
Joan and I are just leaving the radio room on top of the island. They're starting to submerge the island. That's all from here.
Good luck, Jerry.
Now
You can hear me, Jerry. Better get off that island quick. The surface is going underwater now.
Did you hear that, Joan? We've only got a minute.
Oh, Jerry, please hurry. You and Joan must get off the island at once. The surface is nearly covered with water now.
Okay, Mrs. Gregory. Don't worry. We've got some light preservers. Joan and I will float with them and wait for you to pick us up if we have to. Hold tight and don't worry.
The water is coming slowly up to the door, Jerry. Open the door and let it run in gradually.
I got it. Then it won't knock us over when we open it.
Yes. Now we will take 2 of these life rings and lay them on the floor. So, hurry and help me, Jerry.
Hey, what are you putting them on the floor for?
Help me with this guard. We will roll him over on his back and lay him on top of these 2 rings. Then we can float him out to the boat with us.
Gee, won't that tickle Captain Bradford? A Euclidean prisoner.
Hurry, Jerry.
Okay. Boy, he's a heavy fellow. I can roll his shoulders over. You get his feet.
Yes.
Now then, there we go.
Ooh, we did not get him on the rings too soon. The water is coming in the door. Take these other 2 rings and throw them in the water for us, Jerry.
Right. There they go.
Now I will take the guard's ray guns. I think Captain Tex will enjoy studying these.
You're a honey, Joan.
Hurry, Jerry. There is no time to call me names.
Okay, what next?
The water is rising rapidly now. Push the guard out the door and stand there holding him steady. I will bring our life rings with me.
Okay, I'll push him out all right, but you'd better hurry and come too. This water's getting pretty deep here.
One moment, Jerry. Calling Captain Bradford. Hello, Captain.
Hello, Joan. Why aren't you kids off there?
We are leaving now. We have lighted life rings. Within 60 seconds, the island will be covered safely for your boat. No danger from Euclideans now. You may start your motors, and after 1 minute, you may cross the island to us.
Right, Joan. Good kid. How far can we see those lights on your light preservers?
You will see them for 200 yards or more. Will you please have a landing stage down for a prisoner?
Yes, but what?
Hurry up, Joe. The water's almost up to my waist now.
Coming, Jerry. The rising water just cut the radio out.
What are we going to do if this guard wakes up again before the boat gets here? Will these ray guns work underwater?
Not well, Jerry, but I have one in my hair. It will be dry on top of my head, and I will use it when the time comes.
Hey, how do you turn lights on in these life preservers? I can't find any.
Feel around the edge. You will find a metal cap screwed on a valve. Take it off quickly. I have mine ready.
Fix mine, too. I'll take care of the boyfriend here.
The island is sinking rapidly now. My feet are not touching.
I can just touch the bottom. Oh, there it goes. Gee, these rings sure hold you up nice. Hey, look at the steam come out of them. Boy, look at it shine. Does that make a lot of light?
I think the guard is stirring, Jerry.
Well, we've got his gun. We can handle him all right. And he'll be easier to get on the boat if he can climb on it.
I will take no chances with him. Now he will not bother us for another 5 minutes.
I'll bet that guy's getting awful tired, waking up and being put back to sleep all the time. What makes that light come out of these life rings, Joan?
The life ring is really 2 concentric rings. The inner ring contains a very light gas. The ring will support 300 pounds, and the outer ring contains a dry fluorescent salt, which gives off the fluorescent gas you see when touched by water.
Boy, that's... Hey, listen.
Yes, the motor's on the boat. The captain is exactly right for time. The island should be 30 feet below us by the time he gets here.
Boy, this is sure going to make a story for the folks back home.
I will be so glad to see your world, Jerry, and to live with my mother in her comfortable and safe home.
Hey, Joan, how about the commander? She helped us out a lot. It's too bad to leave her here with these Euclideans. She wanted to escape with us.
She will not be suspected of having helped us, Jerry, and sometime we may get the chance to aid her.
Yeah, I guess so. That boat's getting closer.
Yes.
Now they've got the searchlight on us.
But they should save all their power for the radio.
Hey, Tex. Ahoy, the bridge there.
Stand by where you are. Look out for the swell. The landing stage is ready.
Ooh.
Hang on tight, Joan. We're going to get rocked around.
Yes. Oh, the motors are being reversed. There is the landing stage, Jerry.
Yeah. I'll shove the guard over to it. You hang on to my life ring for me.
Yes. The captain will want these rings.
Hey, Tex. We're at the stage.
Coming down, kid. Are you both all right?
How are you, Joan, dear? Oh, I am fine, Mother.
Here, Joan, let me give you a hand up. You and Jerry go up on deck. I'll get the skipper to help me with this prisoner.
He is only asleep, Captain. It would be well to have him carefully searched and under heavy guard when he awakes.
Right. Now, come on, up you go. I'll join you kids in the camp.
Okay, Tex. Come on, Joan.
Yes. Oh, Joan, my dear, I've been so afraid for you. Oh, but we were in no danger, Mother. Joan, my dear little daughter.
Oh, everything's all right now, Mrs. Gregory. You and Joan go in the cabin. I'll come in after I send the skipper down to Tex.
Oh, it is good to be back with you, Mother dear. You'll never know how I suffered while you and Jerry were down inside that terrible island. But you see, we have returned quite safely. Yes, dear, but we didn't know that you would. Now, in you go, Joan. We'll get some dry clothes for you. No, Mother. I am quite warm. Oh, Mother, those dear little homing pigeons. You had brought them into this cabin. Yes, Joan. We hid them in the radio cabin on the yacht and took them with us when we made the last trip to this boat. Oh, but they are so clever, these small birds. And it is thanks to them that we are free from the island. No doubt of it, Joan. If it hadn't been for these homing pigeons, Johnson would never have been able to get the last message to us, or the captain get his real formula instructions to Johnson. And when we get back to your home in California, will we see more of these pigeons? Not only will you see lots of them, but I'm going to give you and Jerry each a pair for your very own, so that you may train them to carry messages between our home and Jerry's. Oh, Mother, that will be nice.
Oh, boy, this is sure swell. Hiya, Mrs. Gregory.
I'm very, very happy, Jerry. It was bad with you and Joan gone.
J12C to J24Y. J12C to J24Y. Can you hear me?
I'll get it, Mrs. Gregory.
All right.
Hello, Johnson. Jerry Hall, back on J24Y. We're in the clear. Island submerged, and we're running away from it. How's that?
Fine, Jerry. Is Bradford there?
He's out on deck. Hang on, and I'll get him. Here's Tex now. It's Johnson, Captain.
Okay, Jerry. Hello, Johnson. We got away right on time. Where are you?
Due north of island. I have arranged fuel supply for you 50 miles north of island. Can you make that?
We'll make it wide open. Good man, Johnson. That all?
That's all. And good luck, everybody.
Oh, Captain, we are really free. Yes, isn't it wonderful?
Yes, Pat. You've actually found Joan, and we're safely on our way home.
Hey, Joan, how did you get the little homing pigeons in here?
Mother had them brought in, Jerry. Are they not nice?
Boy, those little guys sure saved all of us.
So happy. We're really going home.
Yes, Pat. It's been pretty bad at times, but it'll be a wonderful experience to come back someday and take charge of that island with plenty of help.
Boy, gee, that'd be swell.
Yes, Jerry. But now, let's think of nothing but home. Home.
Yeah. Gee. Home. My dad and Hollywood Boulevard and... Oh, golly whiskers.
Joan, dear, you're so quiet. Aren't you happy, too? Happy? Oh, Mother, I'm so happy Oh, golly whiskers.
the Super Delicious Cereal presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, the Man of Steel feels certain he knows where the $50 million robbery is to take place. We'll get the details in a moment. But right now, let's hear from our good friend, Dan McCullough.
Say, gang, do you know why Mother likes you to play outdoors when the sun is shining? Because the sun makes good old vitamin D for you, helps build strong bones and sturdy teeth. And you know why Mom likes you to eat plenty of Kellogg's Pep in the winter, especially when there's not so much good sunshine? Because a dish of Pep gives you lots of that very same sunshine vitamin D, your daily minimum need, in fact. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Pep is a doggone sunny, nutritious cereal. Doggone good tasting, too. Full up with sunny, golden toasted flavor. Crisp as can be. Now, of course, another reason that you're glad to eat lots of Pep is because that's how you get those nifty comic buttons all the gang's collecting. Why, these Pep comic buttons are just about the best-looking things you ever saw. Real, true-to-life pictures of your favorite comic strip characters done up in bright colors on gleaming white buttons that you're mighty proud to sport on your jacket or your dress or cap. So better remind Mom to get you a good supply of Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these swell comic buttons. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in any money, not even a box top. These are exclusive prizes in packages of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
When Robin, young assistant to the famous Batman, trailed the mysterious bank robber who has been impersonating Superman, he learned that the amazingly powerful burglar and his henchmen had planned a $50 million robbery to take place that very night. But Robin was discovered and pursued before he could overhear any details of the plot. And when Superman and Batman arrived at the hideout, they found it deserted. Carrying his two friends, the Man of Steel streaked back to Metropolis. And as we join them now, they're in the library of the Daily Planet, where for hours they have been searching through back files of the newspaper. Darkness has long since closed down over the city, and the worried frown on Superman's face deepens. Listen.
How far back have you gone, Batman?
I just finished last July.
Read through every paper?
Everything but the want ads.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Robin?
I'm on June. Looks like the Detroit Tigers are going to win the pennant last year.
This is no time for jokes, sonny boy.
Well, I went all the way back to April and May. Jim Olsen and Lois Lane covered the first 3 months of the year. I'm sure the story I read was in the paper this year.
Can't you remember anything about the story?
No, I can't. Just that it had something to do with $50 million. I wish we could find it. It might tell us where my impersonator plans to strike tonight.
Well, that finishes June.
Maybe you read the story in some other paper.
No, I seem to remember it was in the Planet.
Oh, we've covered every issue for this year. And you say you're sure it wasn't before that?
No, it couldn't have been.
Oh, look. Let's try it another way.
What?
Where is there $50 million? In one place, I mean.
In the land of my dreams.
Robin.
Sorry, Pappy.
Oh, we tried that before, Batman, and didn't get anywhere. Banks don't carry that much money, and we ruled out Fort Knox. It's too heavily guarded, and besides, gold isn't negotiable now.
You had Henderson tip off Fort Knox anyway, didn't you?
Oh, sure. Oh, we've got to find that story, otherwise we're licked.
I'm afraid we are, chum.
Well, I can't be. Unless that false Superman is captured and exposed, some people will still believe that I robbed those banks. They'll no longer trust and cooperate with me, and if that happens, I'm finished.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, it's true.
Robin, stop that racket.
Oh, sorry again. I can't sit still. You gents realize what time it is?
Oh, it's about 10 o'clock.
It's 5 minutes to 11.
It is?
What?
Uh-huh, and the phony Superman always does his stuff between 11 and 1.
Oh, that's right. What are we going to do, Superman?
I wish I knew.
If you think of anything, let me know. Hey, it's starting to snow.
Would you like to run home and get your sled?
Sure, why not? I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Oh, Christmas you unless you pipe down.
What?
Nothing. I just told Robin to pipe down. I'm nervous enough without his corny tenor jangling my nerves.
Oh, I resent that.
No. Wait a minute. You said something about Christmas.
Did I? Oh, yes, I said...
Wait a minute. Christmas.
What's the matter with him?
Search me.
I've got it.
Huh?
What?
The story I was looking for. It's in the magazine section of the Planet's special Christmas edition.
You sure?
Yes.
I didn't see any magazine sections.
Well, they're filed separately on this shelf over here. Now, Christmas issue should be in this pile. Here we are. Wade in. Find the Christmas number.
Come on, Robin.
Let me at 'em.
These are the February issues.
I've got January.
Well, here are the December ones. December 30th, 23rd.
23rd, that's the one. Let me have it, Robin.
Well, this is the 23rd. Christmas is...
That's the Christmas number. The magazine section only appears on Sundays.
Oh.
Now, let's see. Story on the UNO. Fashions. Here it is.
Where?
Right here. See? A story on the oldest banknote company in the country, the Metropolis Banknote Corporation.
What's a banknote corporation?
It makes paper money for the government.
I thought the mint did that.
Well, the mint makes all the coins, but not all the paper money. Now, let's see. Oh, here we are. Listen to this. Founded during the American Revolution and still situated on its original site on Lower Dock Street, the Metropolis Banknote Corporation will begin printing its final issue of paper money for the United States government on Christmas Day. An issue of, get this, $50 million will be printed at the rate of $1 million per day and will be completed on February 13th.
Wait, that's today.
Right.
Jeepers.
Listen. The money will be stored in the corporation's time-honored vaults until the issue is completed. On the following day, February 14th, it will be removed to the United States Treasury, and the Metropolis Banknote Corporation, oldest company of its kind in America, will formally close its doors, its long career of service at an end. Well, there it is.
What are we waiting for?
You took the words right out of my mouth, Pappy.
Come on, this might be the answer.
My hunch says you're right. There's exactly $50 million in the corporation's vaults right now.
And the phony Superman means to bust in and collect it.
Well, if he does, we'll collect him. I'll just raise this window.
What for?
The Superman Express leaves on this track, John.
No, fancy me forgetting that. Do you prefer the right arm or the left arm compartment, Batman?
No time for clowning now, Robert. Onto this arm with you.
Check.
You onto this arm, Batman.
Double check.
All right, hang on. Here we go. Out. Up. And away!
Leaping from the Daily Planet library with Batman and Robin in his arms, Superman streaks through the night sky to the wholesale warehouse district on the river, dark and deserted at this late hour. On Lower Dock Street, the Man of Steel swoops low over an ancient dust-grimed tomb-like structure, its doors and windows heavily barred, only its first floor showing illumination.
There it is, the Metropolis Banknote Corporation.
Well, everything looks quiet on the outside. What does your X-ray vision say about the inside, Superman?
All quiet there, too. Just a few guards sitting around.
Sitting around?
It'd be a tough job breaking into that old fortress, Robin.
Not for our bank robber friend. He's got superhuman strength.
I wonder if he has.
You wouldn't wonder if you tangled with him like Batman and I did.
He's almost as strong as you are, Superman.
I still wonder.
Have you forgotten how he ripped those 6-inch steel doors off their hinges?
I'll have to see him do it before I believe it.
Stubborn cuss, isn't he?
Maybe he'll find out for himself tonight.
That's what I'm hoping. And the sooner the better. All right, we'll drop down and hide in the shadows across the street. Here we go. Down!
What's that?
It's the chime clock in the export company tower. It's just 11.
Yeah, we ought to get action pretty soon, then.
Keep your fingers crossed.
There go those chimes again. It's midnight.
Smart boy. He can tell time. Counts up to 12, too.
Good.
I just want to count how many times we can bounce that phony Superman off the floor.
He bounced us the last 2 times.
They say the third time is the charm. Where is he?
That's what I'd like to know, Robin. That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, 1 o'clock. The latest they ever showed up to rob a bank was just a minute or 2 after 1.
I know.
He did most of his jobs before midnight. I hope we didn't guess wrong.
Make that hope for 2.
Wait, what? There's a car coming. The big fellow's driving it. 2 men are in the back seat.
Where?
Is it?
Uh-oh.
What now?
No soap. They turned off into River Street.
Oh, shucks.
Superman.
Yes?
I'm no crepe hanger, but he's always showed up before this. Maybe we drew the wrong car tonight.
I don't know. I was sure we didn't. But I'm beginning to have a few doubts myself.
You mean while we're hanging around this place, a phony Superman might be making his haul someplace else?
It could be, Robin.
Jeepers.
Well, we won't give up the ship yet. This is our only hope. Come on, you two. Hang on. We're going up to cruise around a bit. All set? Up! Up! And away!
Anxiously, Superman, carrying Batman and Robin, circles over the dark warehouse district, his keen eyes searching for the mysterious bank robber. Have our friends guessed wrong? And is the largest burglary in history occurring at another place? We'll return in a moment to find out. But first, here again is your announcer.
Gang, you know how it is. When you get excited about something, sometimes you get your words all mixed up. Well, the other day, a young pal of mine got so excited when his mother opened a new package of Kellogg's Pep. He said, "Gee, Mom, just what I need in my collection. Jylin Smack." Well, of course he was talking about Smilin' Jack, one of those funny paper characters on the Pep comic buttons all the gang's collecting. Any one of those 18 different buttons is really something to get excited about, because the pictures of your comic strip favorites are straight from the funny papers. Why, Smitty has his familiar big wide grin, and Superman is wearing his famous flying red cape and Superman insignia. I'm telling you, these Pep comic buttons are real humdingers. And you know what the best part is? They're easy as anything to get. You don't have to send in a single penny, not even a box top. Fact is, you can't buy these comic buttons anywhere. All you do is make sure Mom keeps you supplied with plenty of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside every package, there's your exclusive prize. That's P-E-P, Pep. Made by Kellogg's, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
It is now 1:30 in the morning. Superman, with Batman and Robin, is still cruising high in the air above the tomb-like Metropolis Banknote Corporation, in whose underground vaults $50 million is stored. But the mysterious bank robber who masquerades as the Man of Steel has not put in an appearance, and our friends are fast losing their last bit of hope.
Oh, I'm afraid we missed the boat, Superman.
We didn't even get close enough to wave.
I hate to agree, but Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
We didn't miss the boat.
Huh? What do you mean?
The false Superman has arrived.
He has?
Where? I don't see him.
He and 6 other men are in a tunnel under the bank company vaults.
A tunnel?
Yes. It's an old sewer tunnel. Below the underground vaults where the $50 million is stored.
Jeepers.
All right, take a deep breath now. In a moment, we're going to meet my impersonator and find out if he's as strong as you say he is.
Tensely, Batman and Robin wait for Superman to act, to bring them face to face with the mysterious bank robber, who even now is clothed in a blue costume and red cape identical to the Man of Steel's, and who apparently possesses superhuman strength. What will happen when these two meet? Tomorrow brings the smashing climax of our story, fellows and girls, and an amazing surprise. So be sure to listen. Tune in, same time, same station, and thrill to the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also the copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Say, gang, get a load of this. Kellogg's Variety is back. That's the famous variety carton of 6 swell Kellogg cereals in 10 separate packages. Makes breakfast more fun than a picnic. With Kellogg's Variety on the table, you can choose among Kellogg's Rice Krispies, Pep Corn Flakes, shredded wheat, crumbles, and 40% bran flakes. Simply help yourself to your favorite. Each box holds a fresh, crisp, heaping portion. So ask Mom to get Kellogg's Variety right away. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today we conclude our story of the strange bank robberies. So stand by for the dramatic climax with Superman, Batman, and Robin and the beginning of a brand new story. But now, let's see what's going on over at Dan McCullough's house this afternoon.
Dan!
Hi, Sally. Come on in the living room.
Oh, Dan, it's the best Valentine I ever got.
Yeah? Which one?
The one you sent, of course, with a comic button on it.
Oh, yeah. That's from a package of Kellogg's Pep we opened the other day.
Oh, I'm so thrilled.
Hey, Dan, where are you?
Hi, Rusty. Come on in.
Hey, Dan, that's a swell idea. A Valentine with a comic button for my collection.
I got one too, Rusty.
Yeah? Which one?
Moon Mullins.
I got the Superman button.
Oh.
You got Moon Mullins?
Yes.
Swapping Superman for Moon Mullins.
Yeah, that's the idea. Cinch that trade right away.
You don't mind, do you, Dan?
Why, of course not. All the gang knows that's a swell way to get a new and different comic button for your collection. And all the gang's mighty busy these days, working toward all 18 buttons in the series. Of course, it's a real help that these comic buttons are so easy to get. You don't have to send in a single penny, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere. All you do is to ask Mom to get you some of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside every package, there's an exclusive prize for you. Remember, that's P-E-P, Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
Learning that a mysterious bank robber who has been impersonating him and apparently possesses superhuman strength planned a $50 million burglary, Superman and his friends, Batman and Robin, found a clue in a back issue of the Daily Planet. The Metropolis Banknote Company, which prints paper money for the Treasury, had that day completed the printing of $50 million and had stored it in the company's underground vaults. Carrying Batman and Robin, Superman hovered in the dark sky above the ancient tomb-like building, and shortly after 1 o'clock in the morning, his X-ray vision spotted the mysterious bank robber and 6 men in an old sewer tunnel directly beneath the vaults. As we continue now, having obtained entrance to the building, our 3 friends are in the basement vaults. Listen. What are they doing now, Superman?
Removing the loose concrete.
What loose concrete?
Under a section of this floor. They must have been working on it a long time. The concrete is at least 8 inches thick.
Jesus.
Okay, get ready. They'll be coming through any second now.
All right.
False Superman is finishing the job with a padded sledgehammer. Hey, he is pretty strong.
He's plenty strong. Robin and I tangled with him and got bounced around like rubber dolls. We know.
Yeah, and don't forget how he ripped open those steel bank doors.
Hold it. It's broken through. Now, listen. Let me handle this.
Are you kidding? You said he had 6 huskies with him.
I know, but
Watch it. Here comes the first guy through the hole.
Quick, behind the vaults. Okay, now don't show yourselves until I give the word.
Are the others coming up?
Yes. We'll wait until they're all above decks, and then we'll move. Quiet now.
There are 6 of them, and the phony Superman, huh?
Yes. We're outnumbered just enough to make it interesting.
Okay. Let's jump them before they can get to their guns. Leave the man in the costume and cape to me.
All right.
Let's go, Robin. Right with you, Pappy.
Good evening, gentlemen. Hey, look, 3 guys.
What's meeting you here? Oh, here's my calling card. Read it when you wake up.
You're the one I want to meet. All right, my phony friend. Let's see if you do have superhuman strength.
Nice going, Robin. Stay away from those guns, mister. Oh, you want me? Okay.
With your eyes.
Atta boy, Batman. Oh, your eyes are popping out. Ranger, do you mind if I pop back in for you? Hey, I'm running out of sparring partners, Batman. There's just this one left.
I'll take him. Pardon me, friend. Your shin's showing.
Well, there were 6 little gunmen, but now there are none. Now we can help Superman.
He doesn't need any help. Look behind you.
Christopher Columbus. He's swinging the phony around like a Ferris wheel.
I get dizzy.
By all means, we've got some talking to do. Down on your feet. There we are.
You strong like lion.
Superman's got him tamed, Robin.
Tame as a kitten.
Now, what's your name?
Boris.
Boris what?
Boris Mikhailovich Petrovsky.
Oh, brother, what a mouthful.
Quiet, Robin.
I not bad man. I do nothing wrong.
Oh, no?
How about robbing all those banks?
I no keep money. I give to how you say,
charity, sure, to make the police think I was the thief. But the $50 million in these vaults weren't going to charity. This was the big deal you were building up to. You intended to keep this money and brand me as the burglar.
Oh, I no keep any money. Mr. Simpson, he say, all this I do is, how you say, publicity. It get Boris very big name.
Why did you want to get publicity?
Boris go on stage, make money.
The stage?
Da. People pay much money see Boris. Strongest man in whole world. Mr. Simpson, he say, Boris make lots money.
Who's Mr. Simpson?
That he there, lie on floor.
Fancy vest and spats?
Nada. He give it ticket, come America. He say, make Boris rich man. He say, Boris do like he say, get much of public.
I think he's telling the truth, Robin.
I don't. Nobody could be that dumb.
Da. Mr. Simpson say, Boris very dumb. That mean Boris very strong, no?
You say you believe him, Superman?
Yes, I think he was taken advantage of by this Simpson.
Played for a sucker, you mean?
That's right. Of course, we'll check on his story. Tell me, Boris, how did you open those bank doors and vaults?
And how did you bend those steel bars into pretzels?
Mr. Simpson, give Boris this.
What's that?
Looks like an aluminum cylinder.
It's just what it is. There are 3 electronic tubes inside it and a battery strapped around his chest.
Boris hold this to door, still get soft.
Get soft?
Da. He start melt. Then Boris take hold and pull rest away. Not hard for so strong men like me.
Great Jupiter. You mean this thing melts steel?
I don't believe it.
I do. I've heard of diathermic rays used to soften steel. Remember I showed you how the bank door in Lordville was wrenched out of shape, Batman?
Hey, that's right.
Well, it was done with this electronic gadget.
Well, I'll be jiggered.
Oh. Here comes the police. Anderson's eyes are going to pop when he sees these goons stretched out on the floor.
You think they got a jail strong enough to hold this guy?
Oh, no. Please, I no go jail. I not be bad.
Well, that'll be up to a judge to decide, Boris. That's how we do things here in America.
But I, Boris, I good man. I not do nothing.
Order in the court. Boris Petrovsky.
Step up, Boris.
Da.
Since it is evident that you're only an innocent dupe in the hands of George Simpson, alias George Tanner, with a long police record, this court is patrolling you in the custody of Clark Kent. Court adjourned.
You're free, Boris. The judge isn't sending you to jail.
Oh, I kiss the hand up, Judge.
Never mind that. Come along. I'm going to get you a job operating one of the Daily Planet presses where you can put some of that strength of yours to good use.
Oh, I am so happy. So glad.
With tears of happiness rolling down his cheeks, Boris, the big Russian, leaves the courtroom in the custody of his newfound friend, the man he had innocently tried to wrong. And so Superman has solved another baffling mystery. But if he thinks he can lean back and relax, he is sadly mistaken. For at this very moment, another adventure is brewing. This one more amazing than any that have gone before. We'll return in a moment to begin a new Superman adventure. But first, here is your announcer.
You know, gang, it'd be a doggone shame if you should miss out on a single one of those swell comic buttons Kellogg's Pep is putting out. Because every single one of these 18 different buttons is so bright-colored and gleaming. Why, they look mighty smart pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap. And every single picture of your favorite comic strip characters is a dead ringer for one of the friends you've been following in the funny papers for a long time. And here's something else that you wouldn't want to miss. The exciting fun of getting a new button every time Mom opens a new package of Pep. And even more fun trading duplicates with your pals. So hop to it, gang. Ask Mom to get you some more of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. That's the only way you can get these comic buttons. You don't send in a single penny, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. But there's an exclusive prize for you in every package of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Our scene is the city room of the Daily Planet. In Lois Lane's absence, young Jimmy Olsen has been using her office. And as we look in now, the telephone on the desk has just rung. Swinging back in his chair, Jimmy lifts the receiver.
Oh, Olsen speaking.
James, is it you I'm speaking to?
What? Who is this, Poco?
Is there anyone else in space or time who thinks in rhythm and talks in rhyme.
Oh, it's Poco, all right. How are you, pal?
Oh, I'm fine, friend James. And how are you? Do you still have plenty of work to do?
No, I'm just moping around waiting for something to happen.
Oh, how would you like it to happen soon? With, something like a trip to the moon.
What? A trip where?
To the moon. In a balloon.
Are you kidding?
Oh, honest Injun, across my heart. Just say the word and we can start. Professor Twiddle is standing by to shoot his rocket into the sky.
Now, wait a minute, Poco. What kind of double talk are you handing me? You mean to say someone's going to try to fly to the moon in a rocket?
Well, Professor Twiddle, who happens to be an expert in astronomy, is quite convinced that it is no dream to fly to the moon on a radar beam. And so he's built a rocket ship controlled by radar to make the trip from the Earth to the moon in nothing flat. Now tell me, what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's crazy.
Oh, crazy yes or crazy no. Professor Twiddle is ready to go. Maybe he's right and maybe he's wrong. But he'd like us both to go along.
Me fly to the moon in a rocket? Oh, no.
Oh, don't say no till you hear the story at Professor Twiddle's laboratory. Can you meet me there at 2:30 so he himself can tell it to you?
Well, where is it?
Oh, 607 Winthrop Street, where the avenue and the parkway meet. But don't breathe a word to a single soul, or you'll get me in a terrible hole.
Oh, okay.
Oh, toodaloo, till 2:30.
Toodaloo.
Hanging up, Jimmy shakes his head and rubs his eyes as though he had just awakened from a dream. Is Poco serious, or is it just a gag? Well, just between us, it's far from a gag. And if you listen tomorrow, you'll meet the eccentric Professor Twiddle and learn how Jimmy and Poco get themselves involved in an adventure in space that almost defies the best efforts of Superman to save them. So don't miss tomorrow's episode. It's the beginning of a new and excitingly different story. Tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications. Say, gang, you'll get a bang out of this. Kellogg's Variety is back. That's the grand 10-package assortment of 6 swell Kellogg cereals. Makes breakfast more fun than a picnic. Makes it easy for Mom, too. No dishes to wash, thanks to the new Kell Bowl Pack. You can eat right out of it. What's more, these generous packages are great for lunchboxes and outings. So ask Mom to hurry and get Kellogg's Variety at her grocer's the very first chance. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York. Marketers of Richfield gasolines with Xylene, Rich Lube all-weather motor oil, and other famous petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue puff. Tonight, we escape to a tropic harbor in Venezuela, and the story of a grim voyage of impending death, which started from there. As Martin Storm tells it in his exciting story, A Shipment of Mute Fate.
stopped on the wharf at La Guaira, looked up at the gangplank, toward the liner Chankay. Standing there quietly are our moorings. The day was warm under a bright tropic sun, and the harbor beyond the ship lay drowsy and silent. But all at once, in the midst of those peaceful surroundings, a cold chill gripped me, and I shivered with sudden dread of the thing I was doing and was about to do. But too much had happened to turn back now. I'd gone too far to stop. I set the box down on the edge of the wharf, placed it carefully so as to be in plain sight, and within gunshot of the captain's bridge. And I turned and started up the gangplank. I knew what I was going to do. But I couldn't forget that a certain pair of beady eyes were watching every move I made. Eyes that never blinked and never closed. Just watched and made. Oh, pardon me.
You startled me, sir. I didn't... Oh, why, it's Mr. Warner.
Hello, Mother Willis. How's the best-looking stewardess on the Seven Seas?
Oh, I'm fine, Mr. Warner. It's nice to see you again.
Wait a minute. That's a fine greeting after 2 months.
Well, it's just that I'm so busy.
Oh, don't believe a word of it. Sailing day's tomorrow. You're simply avoiding me, that's all.
Oh, no, really, I'm
and
not.
on the trip down from New York, you said I was your favorite passenger.
But I'm only...
Here, what's that you're carrying in your apron?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just supplies.
Supplies, huh? Let's have a look.
Oh, no, please.
Why, it's a cat.
It's Clara, Mr. Warner. Mr. Bowman said I had to leave her ashore, but I just couldn't.
Oh, who's Mr. Bowman?
The new chief steward. Clara's been aboard with me for 2 years, and I just can't leave her here in a foreign country, especially with her condition so delicate now.
Yes, I see what you mean. Well, I hope you get away with it.
Oh, you won't tell anyone, huh?
Not a soul. Matter of fact, Mother Willis, if I don't get my way with the captain, you and I may both end up smuggling.
Happy to have had you aboard on the trip down 2 months ago, Christopher. I'm very glad you're coming along with us on the run back to New York.
Thanks, Captain Wood. There is one thing, though. I'm having a little trouble with the customs man here, and I wondered if you
I can't do it, Christopher. I just cabled your father this morning and told him I'd have done it for you if I possibly could. He sent a request from New York, you know.
Yes, I thought he would. I wired him from upriver last week.
Well, I hated to refuse, but it's absolutely out of the question.
Captain Wood, I'm afraid I don't follow you.
Responsibility to the passengers, son. We'll have women and children aboard. And on a liner, the safety of the passengers comes ahead of anything else.
But with proper precaution.
Something might happen. I don't know what, but something might.
You've carried worse things, Captain.
There isn't anything worse, Christopher. And any skipper afloat will bear me out. No, I simply can't take the chance. And that's final.
Final. Wasn't final if I could do anything about it. I hadn't come down here to spend 2 months in that stinking backcountry and then be stopped on the edge of the wharf. 2 months of it. Heat, rain, insects, malaria. I'd gone clear in past the headwaters of the Orinoco. Traveled through country where every step along the jungle trail might be the last one. Sanchez?
Si, Senor Warner.
Better tell the men to start looking for a place to camp. It'll be dark in a little while.
Si, Senor. Very soon we turn to river. Camp on rocks by water. This very bad country.
It's very bad country. You've been saying that for 10 days now. Very bad country.
Si, Senor Warner. This very bad country.
Skip it, will you? For all the luck we've had so far, it might as well be Central Park.
Central Park? I don't understand.
Never mind. But if we don't find something to... Yeah, what's the matter? Quiet now. Sanchez, what's wrong?
There in the path. See? Bushmaster.
Bushmaster. The deadliest snake in the world. Bushmaster. Its Latin name was Letitia Nudus. Mute face. It lay there in the center of the path. An 8-foot length of silent death, coiled loosely in an undulant loop, ready to strike violently at the least movement. Here was the one snake that would go after any animal that walked, or any man. It lay there and watched us, not moving, not afraid, ready for anything. The splotch of its color stood out like a horribly gaudy floor mat lying there on the brown background of the jungle, waiting for someone to step on it. Here was what I'd come 2,000 miles for. A bushmaster. Sanchez, I didn't want that snake killed.
He not killed, senor. He gone. Bushmaster very smart, very quick. See bullet in trying to dodge.
Anyway, he's gone. The only one we've seen in 5 weeks.
Oh, we find others. This very bad country.
Well, lay off that gun next time. Don't shoot, you understand?
Why you say no shoot? You want Bushmaster?
Sure, but I want it alive.
Hombre, Cristo. Senor Warner, you tell me you want Bushmaster, but you don't say alive.
You're getting $200 for it.
For dead man, what is $200? Tomorrow we go back to Caracas.
I'll make it 500, Sanchez.
I catch water snake, rattlesnake, any other kind, but I no catch bushmaster. We go back to Caracas.
Sanchez, I'll give you $1,000. It cost me $1,500. 3 days later, Sanchez brought me the snake in a rubber bag. He was shaking so hard I thought for a moment the thing had struck him.
One thing you make sure, Senor Juan. No turn him loose in Venezuela. Because he know I the one who catch him. And he know where I live.
All right, Sanchez, I'll keep an eye on him.
También he know you pay me to catch him. All the time he watch and wait for you too. You no forget that, Senor Warner, because he no forget. Not ever.
Well, after going through all that trouble and danger, I wasn't going to let a pig-headed ship's captain stop me at the last minute. At least not as long as the cables were still in operation between La Guaira and New York. Morning, Captain Wood. Boy at the hotel said you wanted to see me.
Yes, that's right, Christopher. Now, sit down.
Thanks.
Well, it seems you weren't willing to let matters stand the way we left them yesterday.
I was sorry to go over your head, Captain, but I had to. The museum sent me all the way down here for it, and I'm not going to be stopped by red tape. Don't you realize this will be the only live Bushmaster ever brought to the United States?
Well, if I had my way... orders are orders. Got a cable from the head office this morning. All right, suppose we talk about precautions.
I'll handle it any way you say.
And it's got to have a stronger box. That crate's too flimsy.
Stronger than it looks, Captain. That wire screen on top would hold a wildcat. But anyway, I bought a heavy sea chest this morning. We'll put the crate inside of that.
Well, that sounds all right. It got a lock on it?
Heavy padlock. It's fixed so the lid can be propped open a crack without unlocking it. The snake's got to have air, you know.
But in dirty weather, that lid stays shut. I'll take no chances.
Fair enough.
We'll keep the thing in my inside cabin where I sleep. Can't have it in the baggage room. And nobody on board's to know about it. Understand?
Whatever you say, Captain. But we won't have any trouble. After all, it's only a snake. Doesn't have any magical powers.
Yeah. You know, Christopher, I saw a Bushmaster in the zoo at Caracas once. Had it in a glass cage with double walls. It'd never move. Just lay there and look at you as long as you were in sight. Give a man the creeps.
I didn't know they had a Bushmaster at the Caracas Zoo.
They don't now. Found the glass broken one morning and the snake gone. The night watchman was dead. They never found out what happened.
Oh, the watchman must have broken the glass by accident some way.
The way they figured it, the glass was broken from the inside. We sail in 4 hours.
Into the Caribbean, with perfect weather, and the sea as smooth as an inland lake. The barometer dropped a little on the third day, but cleared up overnight and left nothing worse than a heavy swell. But in spite of the calm seas and the pleasant weather, I was becoming possessed with an ominous anxiety. I was developing an obsessive fear of that snake. I stayed clear of the passengers pretty much. Got the habit of dropping into Captain Wood's quarters several times a day. He kept the heavy box underneath his berth. I'd approach it quietly and shine my flashlight through the open crack. Never once could I catch that 8-foot devil asleep or even excited. He'd be lying there half coiled, his head raised a little, staring at me with those beady black eyes, waiting. He'd still be like that when I turn away to leave. Maybe that's what bothered me. That horrible and constant watchful waiting. What in the name of heaven was he waiting for?
Well, hello there, Mr. Warner.
Oh, how are you, Mother Willis?
My, but you and the captain spend an awful lot of time around this cabin. I'm beginning to think the two of you must have some guilty secret.
Nah, nothing like that, Mother Willis. I don't know about Captain Wood, but I certainly don't have any guilty secret. Well, he's running quite a swell out there, Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, it's a little heavy, all right, Mr. Warner. Guess the storm passed through to the west of us yesterday when the glass dropped.
Think it missed us then, huh?
Yeah, that's what the mate figures. Sure stirred up some water, though.
This will put half the passengers in their bunks.
Makes it great for my department. 2/3 of them want a steward to hold their heads.
They'll keep Mother Willis so busy. Hey, look at the size of that wave.
What? Great, you hugged us. Now we're going to take you on the port bow. Hang on. Wow.
That was a freak if there ever was one. Not another wave that size in sight.
You see him like that sometimes, even in a calm sea. I got to get topside, Mr. Warner. That water probably did some damage on the officer's deck.
Yeah, I suppose. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah?
What did you say?
The wheel companionway was open on the port side. Bridge cabins must have taken a pretty bad smashing. They're right below. Something wrong, Mr. Warner?
No. No, nothing at all, Mr. Bowman. At least I hope not. Of course, I knew it was only one chance in 1,000. But the chances against that freak wave were 1 in 1,000, too. I stumbled up the companionway and along the passage to the captain's cabin.
Oh, come on in, Mr. Warner.
Mother Willard.
My, isn't this cabin a mess? I'm trying to get some of these things out to dry.
Yeah. I just wanted to check. Where's that box that was under the captain's bunk?
Oh, that? Well, I just threw it out on deck here.
What?
Well, the desk over there slid into it. It was all smashed.
But the small box inside of it, what happened to it?
Oh, they were both splintered, Mr. Warner. Broke wide open.
Oh, no.
Why, Mr. Warner, you're white as a sheet.
Mother Willard, will you go find Captain Wood? Tell him to come down here immediately.
Well, of course, Mr. Warner. I'll go tell him right away.
I pulled open the top drawer of the bureau beside me and took out the captain's flashlight and a loaded pistol. Mother Willis had left a mop standing by the door. I put my foot on the head of it and snapped off the handle. Every move I made turned into slow motion. I could hear my own heart beating. Slowly, I started to search the cabin. Sodden heaps of clothing were scattered around on the wet black floor. I punched at them one at a time, holding the gun cocked, the flashlight pointing along the stick. Nothing. I worked around the room, throwing the light into the dark corners. Back at the desk. Under the bunk. And wherever I turned, I could feel those cold, unblinking eyes at my back, watching and waiting. Using the stick, I pushed open the closet door and threw the light inside. Carefully, I poked at the boxes and the junk on the floor. The snake was not in the closet. Inch by inch, I covered the entire cabin. And then I realized the horrible truth.
Mother Willis just told me, Christopher.
Captain.
So it's happened.
That's right, Captain. It's happened.
I see you found the gun. We'd better start searching the cabin.
Captain Wood, I just finished searching it.
Then? Women, kids, and that thing loose on board. 1,000 places to hide. Heaven help us, Christopher.
Can you guess what this is? Research scientists worked for years to produce it. It gives your car a new high Antonox. It costs you nothing extra. Well, it's xylene. Xylene is one of the highest Antonox gasoline components ever discovered. And today, every gallon of Richfield gasoline contains this super component, xylene. Richfield gasoline with xylene gives you new high Antonox power. Power that purrs like a kitten but pulls like an ox. Smooth, knockless power to zip you out ahead in traffic and keep you there. In addition, the Richfield dealer offers you a choice of 2 great Richfield gasolines with xylene. Buy Richfield High Octane at regular price for the average motor. Get Richfield Ethyl. Ethyl at its best for best results in the highest compression motors. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle and the Cream and Blue Pump. Get Richfield gasoline with xylene tomorrow. And now we return you to Escape.
There's no use starting to blame anybody now, gentlemen. I didn't call you officers in here to pass judgment. The thing's done, and that's that.
You're right there, Captain.
What we have got to do is make up our minds how we're going to handle it.
It'd be easier if we didn't have to tell the passengers and crew, sir. I've seen panics aboard ship before.
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Bowman, but I don't quite see how we can avoid it.
They got a right to know. As long as that snake's loose, everybody on board's in the same danger. And they all ought to know about it.
Captain Wood, that thing is 8 feet long. It can't simply crawl into a crack. Why don't we make a quick search of the whole ship before we spread any alarm?
Yes, I've thought of that, Christopher.
As far as I can see, the only place it couldn't be is in the boilers or on top of the galley stove. It might have crawled overboard.
We can't count on that. We've got to assume it's on the ship somewhere.
Well, that could be anywhere. A coil of rope or in a pile of clothes. Yes, or under some woman's berth. Or a baby's crib.
Or even... You've already said it. That Bushmaster could be anywhere. We've got to do something. We've got to do it fast.
All right, gentlemen. I think the best idea is to follow Mr. Werner's suggestion and make a quick search first. You agree to that?
Yes, I do.
Then if we don't find it, we'll have to warn the passengers.
Captain, we've got to find it. Alone in the dim baggage room, I went through the same movements as I had earlier in the captain's cabin. Gun in one hand, flashlight in the other, poking into every dark corner, behind every trunk and every box. Since there was no one in the baggage room, I could keep the gun cocked and ready. The rest of those poor devils were having to do the same thing, barehanded. All over the ship, the search went on.
Here now, Stewart. What on earth are you doing rummaging through my cabin?
Just checking up, ma'am.
Well, I'm quite sure there's nothing in here that has to be checked.
Sorry, ma'am. Captain's orders. It'll only take a few minutes.
Well, I never heard of such a thing. A passenger simply doesn't have any privacy at all. I've traveled on a lot of different lines, but I've certainly never heard of anything so completely high-handed.
I'm sorry, sir. I wonder if you'd mind moving over to the other rail. I'd like to look through these lockers.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. What's the matter? You lost something?
No, just looking things over.
Nothing in there but life preservers.
Yeah, that's right.
Must be getting ready to sink the boat, huh? Gonna collect all the insurance, eh? Gonna send us all to the bottom, huh?
Not one of us could find that deadly shape. Perhaps coiled in some dark corner or outstretched along the window seat. Not one of us caught a glimpse of that horrid head with its beady, black, watchful eyes. It was nearly dark when we met again together in the chart room.
Well, gentlemen, there's no other way around it. We've risked all the time we can. We've got to warn the passengers. But how'll we do it, Captain? Call them all together in the lounge? No. If we did anything like that, we'd be asking for a panic. We'll get one whether we ask for it or not. Pick a few men and go through the cabin decks. Tell them individually, inside their cabins. Watch for any that act like they might cause trouble, and we'll keep an eye on them. Handle the crew the same way. Yes, sir. Now, as soon as you're finished, arm all the deck officers and start searching again. Our only chance of preventing a panic is to find that snake.
The slow nightmare that followed grew worse by the hour, and none of us slept. All the ship's officers not on duty kept on with that endless search. Passengers locked themselves in their cabins or huddled together in the lounges, knowing all the time that no spot on board could be called safe. Fear was a heavy fog in the lungs of us all, and every light on the vessel burned throughout the night. Morning came and brought no relief. Terror and tension mounted by the hour.
There now, Mrs. Crane, go back to your cabin. The horrid thing's probably crawled overboard in.
No, you're saying that. You're saying to say it. You don't know. Nobody knows.
Now, everything's going to be all right.
Oh, if we can only get off the ship. They could fumigate us. Yes, that's what we've got to do. We've got to get off the ship.
Mr. Bowles, he's going to jump.
No, you don't. Let me go.
Nice work, Mr. Bowman. Nice work. Now get her down to her cabin. And whatever you do, don't turn her loose.
I'm telling you, you don't know where it might strike you. Well, you can't put on a coat or move a chair without risking your life. Something's got to be done. It might be right here in this lounge.
All right, mister. You better quiet down and take it easy.
Take it easy, huh? You're a great officer. Why don't you do something about it? This thing might be crawling around here right under our feet somewhere.
I said shut up. Are you trying to start a panic?
I got a right to talk. I don't want to die. Nobody's going to tell me what I...
The second night passed, and morning came around again. A gray and rainy day that dragged by with leaden hours. And then night came down again. Third night of the terror. Again, every light burned, and the whole ship seethed in the throes of incipient panic. Faced by a horror they'd never met on the sea before, crew and officers alike were on the verge of revolt. Passengers huddled in a trance-like stupor, ready to scream at the slightest unknown sound. At 7 bells, I made my way forward to the chart room and found Captain Wood bent over a desk.
Oh, hello, Christopher. Come on in. Sit down.
It's got to be somewhere, Captain Wood. It's got to be.
Well, I don't know. You could search this ship for 6 months and never touch all the hiding places aboard. Yeah, if we can only hold out for 2 more days, we'll be in port.
What's your home office say?
Here's the latest wireless from them. Keep quiet and keep coming. What else can we do? You want a cigarette?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. How's it below, Christopher?
That's pretty bad. Anything could happen.
Yeah. That's why I took the guns away from the men. One pistol shot and we'd have a riot on our hands.
The whole thing's my fault, Captain. Well, that's what I can't forget.
Oh, take it
There was
easy,
only
son.
one way I could pay for it myself alone.
No, now, I know how you feel, but it's no more your fault than mine or the man who asked you to bring that snake back alive. Nobody planned this. Now, look, Christopher, I think you better try to get a little sleep.
Oh,
Mr. Bowman made some coffee down in the steward's galley a while ago. You better go down and get yourself a cup and then rest for a couple of hours.
Rest? I can't.
Christopher, it's not going to help any if you stumble through a hatch half asleep and break your neck. Now, go on and get some coffee. One way or another, we've got to hold off for 2 more days.
The light was on in the steward's galley. The coffee pot was standing on the stove. It was still warm, so I didn't bother to heat it. Poured out a cup, carried it over, and set it on the porcelain tabletop in the center of the room. Started to light a cigarette. The door of the pan cupboard beneath the sink was standing slightly ajar. I happened to glance toward it. I dropped the cigarette and moved slowly backward. I'd found the Bushmaster. As I moved, the snake slid out of the cupboard in a single, sinuous slide and drew back into a loose coil on the galley floor, never taking his eyes off me. I backed slowly away, waiting any moment for that deadly, slithering strike. How had he known it was me? He'd stayed quiet when Bowman was here. How had he picked the first time in 5 days that I was without a gun? My hands touched the wall behind me, and I stopped in terror. The call button and the door were on the far side of the room. I backed into a dead end. I stared at the snake in fascination, expecting any moment the ripping slash of those poison fangs. Its lethal coils tightened a little, then were still again. 10 million years of evolution to produce this moment. Homo sapiens versus Lachesis mutus. A man against mute fate. And all the odds were on fate. I knew then that I was going to die. I could feel the sweat run down between the wall and the palms of my hands pressing against it. My skin crawled and twitched, and the pit of my stomach was cold as ice. There was no sound but the rush of blood in my ears. The snake shifted again, drawing into a tighter coil, always tighter. Why didn't the devil get it over with? Then for an instant his head veered away. Something moved by the stove. I didn't dare turn to look at it. Slowly it entered my line of vision. It was a cat. That scrawny cat Clara that Mother Willis had sneaked aboard in La Guaira. Its back was arched, and every hair stood on end. It moved stiff-legged now, walking in a half circle around the snake. The Bushmaster moved slowly and kept watching the cat. He tightened. He was going to strike at any second. He struck a miss. The cat was barely out of reach. Now she was walking back and forth again. She was asking to die. Missed again by a fraction of an inch. He was striking now without even going into full coil. Missed again and again, always missing by the barest margin. Each time the cat danced barely out of reach, and each time she countered with one precise cut of a dainty paw, bracing her skinny frame on 3 stiff legs. And then suddenly I realized what she was doing. The Bushmaster was tiring, and one strike was just an instant slow, but in that split second, sharp claws raked across the evil head and ripped out both the lidless eyes. The cat has deliberately blinded the snake. He didn't bother the coil now, but slid after her in a fury, striking wildly, but always missing, and every strike was a little slower than the last one. Until finally, as the snake's neck stretched out at the end of the strike, the cat made one leap and sank her razor-sharp teeth just back of the ugly head, sank him until they crunched bone. With tooth and claw she clung as the monstrous snake flailed and lashed on the floor, striving to get those hideous coils around her, trying to break her hold to shake off the slow and certain paralyzing death that gradually crept over him, and at last stilled his struggles forever. I took a deep breath. The first in minutes. The cat lay on her side on the floor, panting, resting from the fight just over. Well, she had a right to rest. That mangy, brave, beautiful alley cat had just saved my life, and maybe others as well. But as I turned toward the stove, I suddenly became very humble. And I knew all at once what a small thing a human being really is. There were 3 reasons why that cat had fought and killed the world's deadliest snake. And those 3 reasons came tottering out from under the stove on shaky little legs. 3 kittens with their eyes bright with wonder and their tails stiff as posts. Up on the decks, hundreds of passengers were waiting for the news that the days and nights of terror were ended. Well, they could wait a little longer. I pulled open the door to the cabinet and found a can of milk in a saucer. Then I dropped down on my knees on the floor of the galley.
In summer heat, when the old sun beats down and the thermometer goes up and up, your car's motor gets really hot. And that can mean trouble, because that searing heat is mighty hard on your motor oil. In summertime especially, you need the protection of oil that holds its body under the toughest driving conditions. You need Rich Lube all-weather motor oil. Rich Lube is refined 100% from the costliest Pennsylvania crude obtainable. Rich Lube is tough. It protects your motor by drawing excess heat away from moving parts and by its great lubricating qualities. Moreover, it contains special chemicals that combat carbon and harmful deposits. It cleans your motor as you drive. So get real motor protection this summer. Ask the Richfield gasoline dealer to change your oil to Rich Lube, all-weather motor oil. Keep your motor clean. Keep your motor young. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight has presented The Shipment of Mute Fate by Martin Storm, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield. David Ellis was Chris, Bill Conrad the captain. Sarah Selby was Mother Willis, and David Light was Clara the cat. Others in the cast were Verna Felton, Ted DeCossia, Harry Bartell, and Paul Frees. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You're running a charter fishing boat in the waters off Nicaragua. Until one day, a client suddenly offers to shoot you in the leg and throw you overboard to the ravenous sharks and barracuda, from which there can be no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape to Central America with a story of murderous intrigue along the tropic coast, as Anthony Ellis tells it in his exciting story, Sharkbait. Be listening. Goodbye then, until this same time, next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking over CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York. Marketers of Richfield gasolines with xylene, Rich Lube all-weather motor oil, and other famous petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to a charter fishing boat in the waters off the little Central American country of Nicaragua, and the story of the violence and terror that suddenly developed there, as Anthony Ellis tells it in his exciting tale, Sharkbait. I've just come out of the hole they call El Splendido. Passes for a hotel in Puerto Morazan. They call it El Splendido, I guess, because of the bigger and better cockroaches. Funny thing is, there are always a few Americans there. They come down to Nicaragua for the fishing. Two of them, a man named Williams and his daughter, had chartered my boat for the next morning. It was getting dark when I walked down to where the boat was tied up, and as I came to the shack that palmed itself off as a cocktail bar, I knew it was time for a drink. The joint was called Joe's. Nobody knew why, since it belonged to a fat, happy Portuguese named Miguel Pereira, who in his spare time dabbled in everything from cut-rate murder to dope. He was a good man not to trust. Went to a table, and he stopped plunking his guitar long enough to bring me a warm beer.
Buenos tardes, Capitan Hook.
Hi, Mike.
It's hot today, eh?
Yeah.
You are the first person for cocktails all day today.
Now, that's tough.
But when it gets dark, the Americanos will come in. Then I make up my loss.
I bet you do.
I have heard some interesting talk today.
Is that so?
I would not breathe it to a soul but you.
Go on.
Across the border, they are ready.
Oh, the rebels again?
So they say. Oh, those Hondurans. I have heard something else.
Huh?
They are bringing guns in for the attempt.
No kidding.
See. They pick them up from a Honduras fishing trawler off the coast tomorrow night. Then take them to Point Maria here in Nicaragua.
Well, that's the point, a couple of miles below Puerto Morazan, is it?
See, from there they carry the guns across the border to Honduras.
Well, that's pretty slick.
These things I have heard, amigo.
You're a true conspirator, Miguelito.
There is something more, and believe me, dear friend, I would tell it to no one but you. The guns arrive at Point Maria at 30 minutes past 10 tomorrow night.
Well, that's valuable information, Mike. You'd better not tell anybody else. You know, you might get yourself into trouble.
Oh, but of course I would not. You I tell because I can trust you as you can trust me, Capitan Hook?
Yeah.
Come, I bring you another beer, On Joe's Cocktail Bar, free.
My customers came aboard the next morning at 5:30. Mr. Williams, short and fat, with a prissy little mouth that smiled and sparkling eyes. His daughter looked all right. There were two other men with them. I didn't like that, though. Strangers in Central America, particularly these days, can mean trouble, and that was something I didn't want. My deckhand, Sam, was standing by to cast off.
Hey, Captain Hook. I should like you to meet Mr. Baxter and Mr. Gordon.
How do you do? Gentlemen.
They're staying at the El Splendido. Missed you last night when we made the charter. They're coming with us.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Williams.
Wonderful day. It should be great for fishing.
Look, Mr. Williams, my charter calls for only two, you and your daughter.
Well, my dear fellow, Mr. Baxter and Mr. Gordon are my guests. You'll be paid accordingly. Now, that's settled. Shall we shove off?
Okay.
All right, Sam, cast off. See you, Jocko.
Beautiful, isn't it, Captain?
It's all right, Miss Williams.
It's because you're used to it. I've never seen water like this before.
Huh?
Your deckhand, you call him Sam.
What about him?
Sam. He is Spanish, isn't he?
Part. Rest is Nicaragua.
Why do you call him Sam? Is that really his name?
No, but it's easier. The other one's too long.
He calls you Jocko?
It's Jonathan, but he can't pronounce it.
Strange to find a man like you down here running a charter fishing boat, and with a name like Captain Hook. It's very romantic.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh. Am I annoying you?
No, of course not, Miss Williams. It's my job to answer questions.
I see.
Captain, that dark patch of water over there. See?
Yeah.
It seems to be moving.
It is. Manta ray.
Manta ray?
A giant manta ray. We stay away from him. It's healthy.
Oh, my camera. I must get a shot. Can you get closer?
I can, but I won't.
Well, now, look here. There's no need to use that tone with me. I'm hiring you. I want to get a picture of the beast.
I'm sorry. I'm chartered for fishing. This is a 46-footer. Your beast is about 35 feet across, and he's bad-tempered, too. Nothing doing.
Oh, very well. Jocko!
What?
Albacore.
Where?
Off the port bow.
I see it. Forget your man array, Mr. Williams. Look, Albacore. Tell your friends to get ready. Better let me try for the first one. If we lose him, the rest will get away. Watch those outriggers, Sam. Mr. Williams, break out your gear. This is it. There's a school of fish you see once in a lifetime. When you tie onto one of those babies, you got something. I turned the wheel over to Sam and got set. The albacore took the feather jig like a crazy horse, only 10 times faster. I knew that if I lost him, it was goodbye school. That's the way albacore are.
Oh, you've got him.
Come on, get those lines wet. Over on the other side of me, Baxter. Right. No, Baxter, look out. You're crossing my line.
Sorry.
Now get around me. Here, not that way, you fool. You're fouling me. Under me. That did it. There goes the line.
I'm sorry, Captain.
Forget it. Well, you won't see albacore again today, Mr. Williams. There they go.
Dear. Too bad. Oh, well, that's luck. Oh, come along, Baxter. We'd better have a beer.
Good idea.
After all that excitement, I could almost feel the fight in them. It's really too bad, but accidents will happen.
All right, Sammy, I'll take the wheel.
See you, Joko. Perhaps we catch something else later.
Yeah.
You're angry, aren't you, Captain?
What? No.
Oh, yes, you are. Mr. Baxter hadn't been so clumsy, we would have caught albacore.
That's right. Now, I'll tell you something else.
What?
I don't think that either Baxter or his friend Gordon are fishermen.
They are. The hotel last night, they said so.
Don't kid yourself, not the way Baxter handles a rod.
But they
and
said...
another thing, he's carrying 2 guns and shoulder holsters.
Oh?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's their business. Mine's to find fish.
You're not afraid of very much, are you?
Listen, why don't you go and sit up forward?
Are you afraid of me?
Look, I've taken too many spoiled dames on these trips. Like smallpox, I'm immune.
And I'm bored.
You talk like a bad movie. Now go cut up mullet or something. I'm not expendable. We cruised for another couple of hours. Sighted one marlin, tied into another. That is, Mr. Williams did, but he lost it. Baxter and his quiet friend didn't fish much. They watched. I didn't like that any better. We landed a few barracuda, big nasty devils that could rip the meat off your arm in a second. And it was hot. Sun bounced back from the glassy water and made you wish you were somewhere else. And then it was afternoon. Those 2 guys just sat. They were making me nervous. Williams drank beer and perspired while his daughter kept casing me. I figured she was getting ready for another try when we saw the boat. It was a fisherman flying the Honduran flag.
Oh, not very good sport today, eh, Captain?
It may get better.
It's too bad I missed that marlin.
There'll be another.
I hope so. First the albacore and then marlin. Hey, on your right.
Huh?
What sort of craft is that?
That's commercial fishermen.
Oh, quite large, isn't she?
They take a lot of fish.
Of course. I'd like to get a picture, if I may.
I thought you wanted to fish.
I do.
Right, then I'm headed down the coast.
Oh, would it take long to get close enough for a picture?
No, it wouldn't be worth it.
Huh?
She's Honduran. I don't want trouble.
Trouble, Captain?
In case you haven't heard, Honduras is ripe for another revolution. What? We're under the Nicaraguan flag. I'm not taking any chances.
I don't understand.
It depends whose side the fishermen are on. If they're Honduras government, it's all right. If they're not, they might like to have my boat.
What?
It's happened before.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Revolution. Well.
Captain, that ship, she seems to be signaling.
No, what about it?
Mr. Gordon knows a little about signal pennants.
Does he? Like he knows how to fish?
I think it's a distress signal.
Yes, you ought to find out.
Distress. Is that so, Captain Hook?
Could be. Could be a trick.
I don't understand. If they're in distress, it's our duty to
When
go...
we first sighted her, there wasn't any signal. Now she very conveniently runs one up. I don't like it. We're putting back to Puerto Morazan.
We better take a look.
Not on my boat. Sam!
Hi, Jocko.
We're through for the day. Take in the outriggers. I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, but I don't like this charter.
Now,
You'll
look
get your
here.
money back.
But you can't do that.
Stay on the course.
Nuts.
I insist, Captain.
Oh, Mr. Baxter, what are you doing with a gun? Are you crazy?
Walk over here slowly, Hook. Come on. I mean it.
Well...
All right, Gordon, take over.
Right.
I've been wondering about you ever since you boarded.
Have you? Well, now you know.
Mr. Baxter, really, you have no right to endanger us all. This is going too far.
Keep out of this, Mr. Williams.
You're pretty interested in that trawler, aren't you?
Yes, that's why we've borrowed your boat. If you give us any trouble, I'll shoot you in the leg and throw you overboard. I imagine you would make excellent sport for the shark and barracuda. They have an extraordinary scent for blood, Captain Hook.
Did you know that today's motor car is the most powerful ever built? But it needs gasoline to match. It needs gasoline containing xylene. Xylene, a great discovery of modern science, puts a new dynamic wallop in gasoline. That's because xylene is one of the highest anti-knock gasoline components ever discovered. A super component to give your car new, higher anti-knock performance. Today, every gallon of Richfield gasoline contains xylene. Try Richfield gasoline on a gear shift hill. Press down on the gasoline pedal. Feel your car leap forward. That's what xylene in Richfield gasoline does. You get new high anti-knock, new power, new mileage economy. What's more, you have a choice of 2 great Richfield gasolines with xylene. The Richfield dealer offers Richfield Ethyl. Ethyl at its best for best results in highest compression motors, or Richfield High Octane at regular price for the average car. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Get Richfield gasoline containing xylene. And now we return you to Escape.
Well, it was nicely done. One minute I was the skipper of my boat, the next I was waiting to see if Baxter wasn't going to put a bullet into me. I knew he wasn't kidding about those shark and barracuda, so I decided to play along. Gordon may not have been a fisherman, but he knew how to run a boat, and he headed straight for the fishing trawler.
What does it mean, Captain Hook?
You tell me, Mr. Williams. How long did you say you'd known those guys?
We met them last night, Jonathan.
Yeah?
Well, certainly. Well, you don't for 1 minute suppose that I would have invited them had I known this was going to happen. Whatever are they up to? I've never heard of such a thing.
It's rather exciting.
I've got an idea.
Oh?
I told you they're ripe for a revolution in Honduras.
Yes?
That trawler might be carrying guns.
Guns?
Mm-hmm.
But why? I mean, what's the point of taking over your boat?
Unload guns, put them aboard us for the revolutionists.
What? But Baxter couldn't have known we were coming out here. Oh, I don't believe it.
Sure he could.
How?
You could have told him.
I?
That's right. Last night I told you I'd run out from Puerto Morazan for about 2 hours, you remember? Even told you the direction, south-southwest.
Yes. You said we'd have a chance at Marlin and possibly Tarpon. Yes. I guess I did mention it to them.
Okay. That's why Baxter didn't want us to stop for those albacore. He and his pal made a deal with the skipper of that boat to meet him somewhere around here and at about this time.
Oh?
It's only a guess, but it'll do for now. And it was a good guess. 10 minutes later, we tied up alongside the trawler. She was filthy enough, but she wasn't fishing, and she wasn't in distress. The crew was right out of a Sabatini novel. They didn't have cutlasses, but they had plenty of guns, and not the government kind either. The skipper had a few words with Baxter while Gordon covered us. Then a package changed hands, and they began to put the boxes on our deck. A couple of the deck hands stowed them below and in the cabin. We had quite an arsenal aboard when we pushed off.
Well, Captain Hook, you wanted to put back into Puerto Morazan, so we shall.
Are you kidding?
Not at all.
If those are guns, how do you think you're going to get them into Nicaragua?
Nobody said anything about guns. I shouldn't worry about the contents of the boxes. We shall wait until night, then put into Point Maria. We'll put the cargo ashore there.
Just like that?
Just like that.
You get paid off, and somebody else worries about getting them over the border into Honduras, huh? Yeah, that sounds familiar.
If that is my plan, you have described it perfectly. And, Captain, remember, it's pointless for you to attempt any heroics. Our stakes are rather high, and we should prefer not to kill you.
You won't kill me, don't worry.
Your boat will be returned to you, and there'll be a bonus for your rather unusual charter.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Well, I'm going to join Gordon at the wheel now, and keep in sight, Captain.
Choco. Sammy. Stay down. They can't see you.
Choco, they think I am below. I behave very scared. They did not trouble to search me carefully. I have my knife.
Good boy. Not now, though. Stay out of the way. If we get a chance, I'll... Duck, here comes the dame. Well, where's your father, Miss Williams?
In the cabin, worrying. Who were you talking to just now?
Me? Talking? Oh.
Yes, you were. I know. It's your deckhand, Sam, isn't it?
Keep your voice down.
Sorry. Haven't they missed him?
Probably not. Sam can look like a real scared Indian when he wants to.
He isn't scared, is he?
No.
You've got a plan.
Maybe?
I could help.
No, just stay out of the way.
But I want to help. What can I do?
What's your first name?
Dana.
That's no name for a girl.
Well, it doesn't matter. I am a girl.
Yeah, I can see that.
What do you want me to do?
Go over to the wheel. Gordon hasn't got a gun in his hand. Baxter's the one to watch. Get him talking, and if you can move him in front of me, cut him off for about 5 seconds, right?
But you haven't got a gun. What can you do?
Not me, Sam. If I got his knife, he can do tricks with one. Just give him time to get a good throw, that's all. When I yell, duck.
Where is he?
Inside the bait tank behind me.
All right.
I'll take care of Gordon. You still game?
Of course.
All right, go on. Sam.
See, Jocko?
Get set. Did you hear what I told her?
I hear.
Make it good, boy. If you miss...
I won't miss, Jocko.
And she's talking to him now, Sam. We haven't got much time.
I'm right.
I'm going for Gordon. We'll get him off guard. If you miss with a knife, rush him.
Okay, Jocko.
All right, now, Sam.
Look out!
Stay where you are, Captain Hook. That was most unwise.
Jonathan, he must have seen him. I couldn't help it.
Sam. Sam.
I'm sorry, Jocko. I was not fast with the knife. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, Sam. You'll be all right, Sam. There we go.
We have one good fine time together. Jocko.
Sure we do, Sam. And lots more.
Put him overboard, Captain.
What?
Put him over the side. He's dead.
Listen, you're murdering...
I want no dead bodies in this boat. Might be difficult to explain if anyone came aboard before we reached land. Put him over the side.
I picked him up in my arms. He was very light. The little mestizo who'd been with me for 3 years was dead. Sam was dead. He looked like a sleeping child, except for the blood stain creeping over his wet shirt. I stood at the rail for a moment. Then I let him go. He fell astern of us, and I had to watch. I knew what was going to happen, but I had to watch. So did Baxter. I could feel that murderous fascination as he waited. Then there was a swirl. And another. The water boiled with triangular fins. And Sam was gone. After that, I just waited. Williams and the girl didn't show. It was just me and those two at the wheel. And it began to get dark like it does down there. We didn't show any lights. Gordon was still at the wheel, and I could see the glow of Puerto Morazan off the port bow. There was no moon, just sudden blackness. Must have taken Carter by surprise, because when he called to me, I wasn't sitting by the bait tank any longer. I was around the other side with a big gap hook at my hand.
Captain!
Why didn't you watch him?
Never mind that. He's still aboard. Hook! I'm coming to get you. Not be a fool. Hook! This is your last chance. I swear I'll shoot.
I caught sight of his figure for a second against the glow of the town, then he was gone. But I was ready. I could hear him. Just a couple of more steps. 1, 2, 3.
Hook! You're a fool.
I'll put on the light.
No. They'll see us from shore.
Then I could hear him breathing. And I hit out with a gas, and I caught next to her in the throat. He went down hard, dying fast. I grabbed his gun and moved quietly toward Gordon at the wheel.
Did you kill him?
Baxter can't hear you, Gordon. He's dead. All right, drop it. Drop it! I got away from the wheel. Okay. Williams! Williams, get out here. It's all right. I've got him.
Captain Hook. Oh, well done. Mustn't have taken a lot of nerve to do that. It's wasted. Sorry, Captain Hook.
It was dark again when I came around. I could hear voices up forward. I'd been a sucker, and I knew that the 4 of them had been in it together.
I tell you, I can't take it any closer. Baxter knew these waters. I don't. We could hit anything, rocks, shoals. We wouldn't have a chance. The sharks.
If we hadn't been so careless, this never would have happened.
Well, what's the use of talking? We've got to do something. Look, isn't that a point over there on your left?
Yes, that might be Point Maria.
Now I understood why Sam had died. The girl must have told Baxter what was going on, then faked the routine we'd worked out. That's why she got so cozy with me, just to make sure she'd know what I was up to. And it was quite a setup. It's a lot of dough and running guns, and it takes all kinds to do it. And I decided it was about time to let them know I was awake.
Well, Captain.
Yeah.
You feeling better?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hit you quite so hard.
No, I'm sure you didn't.
You caused us quite a little inconvenience, you know.
I'll bet Sam's sorry for you, too. That's a nice kid, your daughter. She pulled wings off of flies when she was younger.
Not my daughter, Captain. Dana's, shall we say, a partner in the enterprise.
Oh?
And we have a proposition to put to you.
Oh?
Frankly, we need your help. Mr. Gordon is unable to discern the landmark we have chosen. Baxter might have found it, but, Captain, we needn't go into that. I offer you $1,000 if you will take us in to Point Maria, where we should be able to see the signal.
Sorry.
2,000.
Find it yourself.
Shoot him. He'll only give us more trouble.
Yeah, do that. Then explain how Sam and I disappeared when you get back to Puerto Morazan. By the way, have you checked the fuel?
It's almost empty.
That's right.
All right, Captain. What do you want?
Look, Williams, suppose I take you in, and we decide on a fair deal when we get there.
Very well. You have my hand on it, Captain?
Yeah. Gentlemen's agreement.
Are you sure this is Point Maria?
I'm sure. Do you want me to signal?
No, we'll wait. We have to pick up the guns at 10:30. The boats will put out from shore.
It's 10:30 now.
We'll wait.
It's okay with me. 5 minutes went by, and we heard the sound of muffled oars. From out of the blackness, riding out to us on the swells, came 3 boats. I was at the rail when the first man lumbered heavily over the side. It was the owner of Joe's Cocktail Bar, Miguel Pereira, still fat and still happy. 4 others followed, well armed, stood waiting.
Ah, Captain Hook, my good friend, and Senor Williams.
Yes.
But I did not know that you were acquainted.
The captain was kind enough to assist in delivering your consignment, Senor Pereira.
So? Ah, now I understand. You and the captain have become partners, eh? You used his boat for the task. Very good.
Not partners, Mike. These are my guns.
Oh, come now, Captain Hook. You're getting a little out of your depth, aren't you?
You might as well start unloading, Mike.
But there is only one consignment?
That's right, mine. Williams wasn't able to pick his up.
Wait a minute. Are you in us, too?
You, Captain? You're running guns?
Yeah. It wasn't nice of Mike not to tell you about me, and it wasn't nice of him not to tell me about you.
What?
Would have been simpler to let us do the whole thing instead of splitting it up, Mike.
Never mind what was nice. I know what I'm doing. It was safer this way. If one of you were caught, the other would get through. Mr. Williams said he arranged for a boat and would pick up his guns this afternoon from the trawler and bring them here this evening. And you, my dear friend, were to pick up yours tonight, as I told you.
That's right. You've got them.
Now, look here. If you think I'm going to be double-crossed like this, you can...
Go ahead. There's a load of guns waiting for you out on that Honduras fisherman. Pick them up. This one's my deal.
Well, I tell you, Senor Pereira, these are mine.
We must have the other shipment of guns tonight.
Looks like you're not going to, Mike, unless I can get them for you.
You're not going to get away with this, Captain Hook.
You will return to the trawler tonight, Captain?
Sure. You'll have to pay me first for these.
It is done.
Oh, no. We made a deal, Pereira. I am not
You
going...
did not keep your bargain, senor. Obviously, these are the captain's guns. Please, no violence. My men are nervous. That is better. Here is the money, my friend.
Thanks, Mike. I'll give it to Sam's wife. It won't make her feel any better about Sammy, but it may help a bit.
Well, Captain Hook, you've done quite well, haven't you? Where does all this leave us?
Out, Mr. Williams. If you're smart, right out of Central America. And if I were you, I'd do my fishing in a lake from here on. It's healthier.
Did you know that just the motor of a modern car has as many moving parts as a whole car did only a few years ago? That means your motor oil has a bigger than ever job to do. That's why it's more important than ever to use Rich Lube all-weather motor oil. Rich Lube is refined 100% from the costliest Pennsylvania crude. It protects moving engine parts with a tough elastic oil film that stands up under the hardest driving conditions. Rich Lube keeps your motor cool by carrying excess heat away from vital engine parts. In addition, it cleans your motor of harmful deposits as you drive. Rich Lube, The Pennsylvania Premium Motor Oil saves you money by protecting your motor under all weather, all driving conditions. Yes, it's much cheaper to use Rich Lube than to pay the cost of motor repairs. Change to Rich Lube all-weather motor oil tomorrow. Keep your motor clean. Keep your motor young. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. And tonight has presented Sharkbait by Anthony Ellis. Featured in tonight's cast were Bill Conrad as Captain Hook, Mary Shipp as Dana, Will Gear as Williams, John Daner as Baxter, Steve Roberts as Gordon, Harry Bartell as Sam, and Paul Frees as Miguel. Special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You are standing on the deck of a whaling ship, about to put out from San Francisco, when a stranger suddenly appears to inform you that he has just murdered your first mate. A stranger from whom you realize there can be no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape with a story of intrigue and violence aboard a whaling ship of 100 years ago, as Bud Nelson tells it in his exciting tale, Yellow Wake. Be listening. Goodbye then until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Rice Checks and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy, in their spacesuits on a tiny asteroid, are approaching a criminal who has stolen evidence that's needed to convict a crime syndicate.
He's got the metal box, sir, with the evidence.
All right, Chura. Come out of that crater and get into our ship.
I'm getting into my own ship, Corey. And you're not going to stop me.
All right, we'll come down and get you.
Take one more step and I'll use this gun on you. All right. Have it your own way. I warned you.
Drop, Happy.
Wow, that was close. That ray gun knocked a hunk of rock loose as big as your head.
Don't move, Hap. I think Chura means business.
He sure does. And it isn't funny business either.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Search for Asteroid X. Say, did you hear that, gang? That was the Terra Express train trying to get up speed on ordinary fuel. Not very speedy, was it? But now listen to that same train with super fuel in its tank. Man, that train is really traveling now because it's supercharged with super fuel. Now, gang, without a good breakfast, you can't go very fast either. But with super fuel in your tank, you're supercharged. Here's how Buzz Corey gets up ahead of steam in the morning. He has a good breakfast with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the super cereals that help us supercharge you. For taste, they're terrific. For size, they're perfect because they both have that modern bite-sized design. So, gang, get off to a quick start of the morning the way Buzz Corey does. Get supercharged. Just eat a good breakfast with the Checkerboard Super Cereals and get them today in the red and white Checkerboard packages. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. After months of careful investigations, Space Patrol agents have gathered evidence against the leaders of the notorious Saturn Syndicate. This gang, for months, has been victimizing honest businessmen on the outer planets of the solar system. Commander Corey has been awaiting the arrival of an agent with the evidence that will convict the leaders of the syndicate. Now, Buzz grimly enters his central office on Terra, where Cadet Happy is decoding spaceograms.
Lock those messages in the file, Happy. You can work on them later.
Is something wrong, Commander?
There certainly is. I've just received a report that Fraser's in the hospital. All the evidence is gone.
What?
Somebody jumped Fraser while he was on his way here in a surface car. He was knocked unconscious. Every scrap of evidence was stolen. Documents, microfilm, everything.
Do you have any idea who did it, sir?
No, I understand the doctors won't let our security people see Fraser yet.
Is he badly hurt?
Fortunately, no. The loss of that evidence puts us right back where we started 3 months ago in the Saturn Syndicate investigation. Come on over to the hospital with me. As soon as the doctor's okay, I want to ask Fraser some questions.
Cut your speed and go lower, Hundley. I think I see something down there.
Where?
Right near that small pond. Isn't that a building of some kind?
Hey, you're right, Shura.
Well, I hope it's occupied. Say, there is a man down there by the pond.
That's surprising to find anybody in this part of Mars.
Set the ship down. We'll load up with food and water.
Suppose this guy won't give us any?
Well, then he'll get what our friend, the Space Patrol agent, got.
Do you think you finished that guy, Shura?
Who cares? We got the evidence.
Yeah. But I won't rest easy until we get it hit on Asteroid X.
Kick on the repeller ray.
Repeller ray on.
Well, we're down. If we get enough supplies here, we can go into free fall near the asteroid belt till we decide what our next move is.
I wonder who this guy is. He sure must like solitude.
Now, we don't want any trouble if we can help it, Hundley. Let me do the talking.
Don't you always?
All right, let's go. Now the outer hatch.
Hi there.
He looks good-natured and not very bright. Just what we ordered. Hello, friend.
Having trouble with your ship?
No, but we're out of supplies, food and water.
When we left Lowell City, we thought we had enough to get to Neptune, but looks as though I miscalculated.
Well, I got plenty here, gentlemen. Come on in, take what you want.
We'll pay you for it.
Oh, no, I got plenty. Come on in the house and help yourselves.
Right, that's mighty generous of you, Mr.
Noonan. Marty Noonan. By the way, I don't believe I got your names.
Well, I'm Steve Chura, and this is my friend Wally Hundley. Now about those supplies.
Oh, sure. Sorry, you folks are in a hurry. But since you are, just come with me, gentlemen. I brought this extra box of rations, gentlemen, just in case of emergency.
Here, I'll pass it up to Chura.
All right, Hundley. Come aboard.
I sure wish you fellas could stay a while. Don't get many visitors.
So do we, Mr. Noonan. But we got to get going.
Well, I understand.
Well, very much obliged, Noonan.
Oh, no trouble at all.
So long. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye.
Better stand back and watch our rockets. We're going to blast off.
Sure, a couple of swell fellas. Say, what's this? Little box. They must have dropped it. Hey, wait! This looks pretty important. Microfilm Reel 14B Property of Space Patrol. Investigation Squad Number 3, Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra. Gosh, they're Space Patrol agents. I'd better call headquarters right away.
Commander, will you take the spaceophone call? It's something about a can of microfilm a fellow found on Mars.
All right, Happy. Corey here. Go ahead, please.
Commander, my name is Noonan.
Yes, Mr. Noonan?
A couple of your agents dropped a can of microfilm on the land. Want to know how to go about returning it.
Well, what does it say on the label?
Reel 14B, Investigation Squad Number 3.
Oh, just a minute. You say Space Patrol agents dropped it?
Yes, sir. I think it fell out of one of the men's pockets.
Happy. Squad 3 was on the Saturn Syndicate case. Mr. Noonan, what were these agents doing on your land?
They ran out of supplies on the way to Neptune.
Did you see their credentials?
No, I didn't. Just figured they were agents when I found the film. Said their names were Steve Chura and Wally Hundley.
Did you ever see these men before?
Why, no, Commander.
Where are you now?
At my place. Sector 17H on the Martian plain. About 4 6/10 DUs directly northwest of Lowell City.
Got that, Happy?
Yes, sir.
What kind of a ship did these men have? Was it a Space Patrol ship?
No, didn't have any insignia at all. But I don't know what kind it was.
Mr. Noonan, hold on to that microfilm. I'm coming after it.
Right, Commander.
And don't give it to anyone else. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for your cooperation. I'm on my way. Corey out.
I've just checked, sir. We don't have any agents named Chura and Hundley. Not on Squad 3, anyway.
Well, chances are those are the men who knocked out Fraser. At least they have the evidence, or I should say, had it.
But Fraser didn't get a look at the men who attacked him.
We'll blast off for Mars and get the film happy. Maybe we can get some more information from this man, Noonan.
I finished decoding the patrol unit messages, sir.
Good. Will you read them, Happy?
Yes, sir. Quote, to Commander-in-Chief aboard Terra 5, Jupiter Patrol searched Mars to Neptune orbit. No suspicious craft sighted. Unquote. From Saturn Patrol, same, negative. Neptune Patrol also replies a negative.
Any more?
Well, Patrol Ship 34A, Asteroid Belt, picked up an unidentified object in their view scope. They're investigating it.
Happy? We're going right into Lowell City.
And how about the microfilm that Noonan's place?
Yeah, you can go after it in an atmosphere ship after we land. I'll call Noonan, describe the credentials you'll present to him to relieve him of my original order.
All right, sir.
See how much you can find out about those men he saw. Get a full description. Very likely their right names aren't Chura and Hundley. It's almost certain they lied when they told Noonan they were going to Neptune.
Shall I bring Noonan back to Lowell City?
If you think he can give us any useful information.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll reach Mars in 20 minutes, sir. I'd better check Lowell City Space Control.
Better get the evidence ready. We're nearly to Asteroid X.
All right, sure. What a terrific place to hide it. Even if somebody knew it was on an asteroid, how would they know which one?
Now, remember, Hundley, when we get to the asteroid, be sure to mark the exact universal star time to the 10th of a second.
Why?
Well, otherwise, the orbit computer can pinpoint its location when we want to find the asteroid again.
Yeah, I get it.
Have you got the evidence ready to unload?
Yeah, all except... Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
Reel of microfilm. I had it in my pocket. It's gone.
Huh? What was it doing in your pocket?
That spilled out when we took the stuff from the agent's surface car, so I just stuck it in my pocket. Oh, well, probably doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? That reel might be just the one to convict the boss. And us. How did you happen to lose it?
I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Back at Noonan's.
What?
Yeah, it may have fallen out while I was bending over to pick up the box of food or water containers.
How could you be that careless? Well, at least Noonan's alone. We got to go back and look for it. There's nothing else to do.
Hi there.
Are you Marty Noonan?
Yep, that's right.
I'm Cadet Happy. Here are my Space Patrol credentials.
Mighty glad to know you, Cadet. Commander Corey called me about you. Oh, here's your microfilm.
Oh, thanks. There are several questions Commander Corey wanted me to ask you about these men.
Chura and Hundley? Well, I'll tell you what I can. Suppose we go in the house and have a bite to eat while we talk.
All right, fine.
It's a mighty fine-looking little atmosphere ship. How fast will she go?
Oh, probably 1,200. On this trip, though, I averaged about 832.
From Lowell City to here in 9 minutes and 54 seconds. Say.
Yeah, about that. Let's see. I took off at... Hey, how did you figure that out so quick?
Oh, I don't know. Answers just sort of come to me. Don't have to think about it. It's lucky, too. Because if I had to tell you how I do it, I'd get all confused and come up with the wrong answer.
I have to figure everything out on paper or use the electronic computer in the ship. Well, first, Mr. Noonan, can you give me a description of these two men?
Well, Chura's about 45, 6 feet tall, weighs about 210 Earth standard.
Well, Mr. Noonan, you've given me a very complete description of these crooks, and their ship was very likely a Class C private cruiser from the way you describe it. Could you come to Lowell City with me, Mr. Noonan? I think Commander Corey would like to question you further.
Why, of course.
I'd like to get back as soon as possible. Do you mind if I use your spaceophone?
Okay, Noonan. You two, Cadet, get your hands out.
Sure, and Hundley.
That's right. Don't make a move for your gun, Cadet, or I'll use this one.
Okay. Which one of you has the microfilm?
What microfilm?
You know what microfilm. Noonan must have found it or you wouldn't be here. Hundley, take the cadet's ray gun and search him for the tape.
Sure.
The film's in my jacket pocket, and it's going to stay there.
You want to play rough, eh, Cadet? You let him alone. You keep out of this, Noonan.
Sure, help me.
All right, I'm coming. All right, Cadet.
I nearly got the gun away from me.
Well, after this, don't be so careless.
I got him. Here's the microfilm. Now, let's get back to the ship.
The cadet's coming, too. And I got an idea. We're going to take him with us.
What for? Let's finish him here.
Oh, not till we find out how much he knows. Come on, Cadet. Come on your feet. We got a nice long walk.
Walk? Where to?
To our ship.
What about Noonan?
Oh, that stupid oaf. Leave him here. Smash his spaceophone. And the one in the cadet's atmosphere ship as well.
Okay.
Where are you going to take me?
Never mind. But I'll tell you this much. You better enjoy it because this is the last trip you ever gonna take.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Gang, this is Space Patroller Dick Tufeld, and boy, am I excited. We have a new machine here at Space Patrol headquarters, and it's terrific. It's the flavor meter for testing the flavor of food. Now, I have a plain, ordinary cereal right here, so let's test it. The better it tastes, the louder it'll ring the bell. Now, all I do is place the cereal in this slot and push the button. Not much flavor there, is it? Let's put in some other ordinary cereal and see what happens. Why, not even a tinkle. Now, gang, here's a couple of super cereals I'd like to test. I'll put them both in. Wow, that did it. Those cereals really ring the bell for flavor. You bet. They were Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. Chex, the cereals with that modern bite-sized design. Chex, the super cereals that help to supercharge you. Test them yourself, gang, in your own cereal bowl. And believe me, they'll really ring the bell for flavor. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Commander Corey has sent Happy to Marty Noonan's isolated dwelling on the Martian plain to recover some stolen evidence, a roll of microfilm. Noonan and Happy were surprised by Chura and Hundley when the thieves returned for the film. After smashing Noonan's spaceophone, the criminals have taken Happy to their ship, leaving the unconscious Noonan locked in his house. Meanwhile, Buzz, in Lowell City, has tried in vain to contact Happy or Noonan by spaceophone.
Commander Corey to Space Patrol, Lowell City.
Space Patrol, Lieutenant Barton here, Commander.
Lieutenant, I've been unable to contact my cadet on any of the Space Patrol frequencies. And Noonan doesn't answer either, so I'm blasting off to see what the trouble is.
Would you like an atmosphere ship, sir?
No, a spaceship in case I need it. I'll go on Terra 5. Keep monitoring those frequencies. If you hear from either Cadet Happy or Marty Noonan, notify me on my private frequency immediately. Hello there. Are you Marty Noonan?
Yes?
I'm Commander Corey. Where's Cadet Happy?
Sure, and Hundley. They took him away, and they got the microfilm. I tried to stop them, Commander, but they knocked me out. They smashed my spaceophone and the one in the cadet ship there, too.
Do you know where they took him?
No, by the time I came to and broke out of my house, they'd blasted off. They'd locked me in.
Did you hear anything that would give us a clue as to where they were going?
No. All I remember was that one of them said we ought to be able to get there by 1,500 hours, but I don't know where they meant.
How long ago did they blast off?
About an hour and a half ago. Say, Commander, I'd like to help you find them.
All right, come aboard.
Thanks, Commander.
Maybe with the astrogation charts and the computer, I can figure out an approximate radius of where Chura's ship might be by 1,500 hours.
Well, if they're going to any planet, it'd have to be Jupiter.
Why do you say that?
Well, considering the speed of spaceships and the present positions of the planets and the approximate arrival time of 1,500 hours, it just has to be Jupiter.
Oh, it does?
Yes, they wouldn't need that much time to get to any of the inner planets like Earth and Venus, and they'd need much more time to get to Saturn.
You may be right, but as a double check, I'll work it out on the computer. The computer will give us the answer in a few seconds. Here we are. Now, let's see. Well, what do you know?
What'd you say, Commander?
Mr. Noonan, this is amazing. Either you made a very lucky guess, or you must know the exact distances and positions of all the planets relative to Mars.
Oh, I do. Make a hobby of remembering data like that.
Jupiter comes nearer to satisfying the equation than any other object in space. How do you do it?
I don't know, Commander. If I know a formula and the data, I can get the result. But if I stop to think how I do it, I get all confused.
There's only one thing wrong. They couldn't quite reach Jupiter by 1,500. Of course, they may be heading for one of the moons. I'll check the astrogation chart again.
Could be Ganymede, Commander, assuming we're right on the time factor.
We'll see. Mr. Noonan, you've hit it again. The astrogation chart puts moon number 3, Ganymede, very close to the vector. Ganymede's a good-sized moon. There are a lot of places to hide on it. The most we can hope for right now is that we're headed in the right direction.
I just talked to the boss.
What'd you tell him?
Just that we got the evidence against the gang away from the Space Patrol, and that we're on Ganymede. And the boss is going to stay on Saturn now that he's safe from prosecution.
How long do we stick on Ganymede?
Until the excitement over the stolen evidence dies down a little. Say, where's the cadet?
Sitting over there in the...
He's gone. I told you to watch him. The spacer phone. Look in the next room, quickly.
And I'm being held on Ganymede, Sector 9J.
Hey, get away from the spacer phone. Grab him, Hundley.
Sector 9J. Hey.
I'll teach you, cadet.
Now, watch him after this.
That was Happy. He was cut off.
Sounded to me like somebody hit him.
Sector 9J. That pinpoints the location, Mr. Noonan. We'll make a slow glide approach and land with repeller ray. Maybe Chura and Hundley won't hear the ship.
All right, cadet. We could keep this out for hours, but I'm tired of playing games with you. Does Commander Corey know who knocked out the Space Patrol agent? Now, come on, answer me.
Oh, you're wasting your time, Chura.
I'm all for getting rid of the cadet right now. After that space phone call he tried to make a while ago, he's too much of a risk to have around.
I'm afraid you're right, Hundley. We'll take him away from the building and use the ray gun on him.
Now, let's get at it.
Get your hands up, you two.
Corey!
Commander, you got here just in time.
Mr. Noonan put me on the right track, then we heard your spaceophone call. Chura, where's the Saturn Syndicate evidence?
It's where you'll never find her.
They put it on an asteroid, sir. Somewhere in the asteroid belt, but I couldn't tell you which one.
There are thousands of them.
I'll untie your hands, cadet.
Thanks.
Look out, Noonan.
Too late, Corey.
Shoot, Commander.
I can't. He's holding Noonan as a shield.
Hold on, Corey.
Are you all right, Noonan?
I'm sorry, Commander.
That's okay. After him, quick.
He's locked the door.
Hundley, have you got a key to this door?
Sorry, Commander. Chura has the only one.
Search him. I'll see if I can smash the door.
I've got my hands loose now, Commander. I'll help you.
All right, Happy.
Can't find a key on him, Commander. Just this slip of paper.
Uh-oh. It's Chura's ship. He's getting away.
Well, we still have you, Hundley.
Hey, Mr. Noonan, don't throw that paper away. That's the coordinates of the asteroid.
Oh, all right, cadet. I'll hang on to it.
Once more, Happy. The door's giving.
There she is.
Escort our friend Hundley to the ship. Come on, let's get after Chura.
No sign of Chura's ship in the viewscope, sir.
Hundley, you must know where he'd be most likely to go.
Really, Commander? I haven't the slightest idea.
Probably heading for that asteroid to pick up the evidence. Mr. Noonan, let's see that piece of paper.
Here it is, Commander.
Yes. These coordinates are for a point somewhere in the asteroid belt.
Yes, sir, but the asteroid has moved thousands of DUs by now.
Yes, but the time is down here to the second.
Oh, you mean the time the coordinates were taken?
Yes. So by using the computer, we can tell just where the asteroid will be at any future moment.
Commander, look at Hundley.
Hey, get away from that computer! Get him, Happy! All right, Hundley. Quiet down or I'll knock you cold.
Look what he did to the computer.
Put it completely out of commission.
Here, now let's see you find Asteroid X.
Well, what are we going to do, sir? We can't possibly locate that asteroid until we get another computer.
I know. There are thousands of asteroids in that belt.
Commander, did I see that piece of paper?
All right, Mr. Noonan.
16 degrees, 23 minutes, 7 seconds. Sun arc tourist orientation, 123 million DUs from sun center. Commander, I think I can give you the approximate location of that asteroid.
You can work out that orbit equation in your head?
Already have, sir. You show me an astrogation chart, I'll mark down the coordinates.
Smoking rocket.
That's impossible. Nobody could solve an equation like that so quickly. Not in his head.
I've seen Mr. Noonan work, Hundley, and I think you're in for a surprise. Here's a chart, Mr. Noonan. Center that asteroid in the viewscope, Happy.
Yes, sir.
The approximate location you gave us, Mr. Noonan. The question is that Asteroid X?
There are hundreds of asteroids in this region.
Yeah, but look, there's a spaceship circling it. Hey, it's going to land.
Mr. Noonan, it looks as though you pinpointed the right one.
Sheer luck.
Increase our velocity, Happy. We may be able to catch Chura before he leaves the asteroid.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Noonan, will you go to the locker and get a couple of spacesuits for Happy and myself?
Sure will, Commander.
When we land on the asteroid, I'll leave you in the ship to watch Hundley.
There's Chura, sir, in that small crater.
You'll set down between him and his ship. Cut rockets.
Rockets out, sir.
Hit repeller ray.
Repeller ray on, sir. Landing secured, Commander.
All right, Happy. Let's get out there and grab Chura. Mr. Noonan, here's a ray gun. Hold it on our friend Hundley.
Very happy to, Commander.
He's got the metal box, sir, with the evidence.
All right, Chura. Come out of that crater and get into our ship.
I'm getting into my own ship, Corey, and you're not going to stop me.
All right, we'll see about that.
Now take one more step and I'll use this gun on you. I warned you.
Drop, Happy.
Oh, that was close. That blast knocked loose a hunk of rock as big as your head.
Next time I'll widen the angle, and I won't miss.
Shall we rush him, sir?
Don't try it. Move 1 inch closer, Corey, and you're finished.
There's nothing we can do. Back to the ship, Happy.
Yes, sir. Commander, isn't there any way we can get him?
Just get into the ship. Close the hatch.
Yes, sir. Well, he can't hold out there very long without food and water, sir. Do we just wait?
He'd have to give up eventually. But he destroyed the evidence before he surrendered.
I guess there's nothing to do but blast off.
Turn your transmitter signal to low output so Chura can't hear us.
Yes, sir. All set. Hey, Commander, he'll have to pass right by this hatch to get to his own ship.
Yes, there's one weapon that might work. Right here in this container.
Liquid air. But how...
Unfasten the bracket.
Well, yes, sir.
Now, as he passes the hatch, open it as quickly as possible. And I'll open the valve on the nozzle. We'll squirt a jet of liquid air at Chura.
But what good will that do? Is the pressure strong enough to knock him down?
No, but the temperature out there in that asteroid is minus 240 degrees. Liquid air freezes at minus 218.
Yeah, but I still don't see...
There he is. Open the hatch, Happy, quickly.
Good shot, sir. It's hitting him.
I'm trying to spray it over his hand.
Hey, Corey, what are you trying to do? Fight with a water pistol?
There, I got his hand.
Turn it off, Corey, or I'll put a blast charge into your ship. Well, I can't raise my arm.
That's right, Chura. Your gun hand is encased in a mass of frozen air. Yeah, that'll hold him, Happy.
Hey, he's just standing there like a statue.
Let's go out and bring him into the ship. He's harmless now. Well, what's funny, huh?
He thought he was hot stuff, but now he'll have to be defrosted.
We'll be back with an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story in just a moment. Say, gang, did you ever hear the robot mastermind work? It's the amazing Space Patrol machine with a mechanical brain. It knows the answer to everything. Now, listen while I ask it some questions. What's the only hot cereal Buzz Corey ever eats? The hot wheat cereal that helps to supercharge him.
Instant Ralston.
Right, Instant Ralston, the hot super cereal that helps to supercharge you. And when you want a hot cereal that's really delicious, what do you ask for?
Instant Ralston.
Right, Instant Ralston. And when the morning's cold and you want to warm up your motor?
Instant Ralston.
Yep, the robot mastermind is right on the beam. So remember, to get supercharged, eat a good breakfast with...
Instant Ralston.
Hey, the robot mastermind answered for me.
Instant Ralston.
I can't stop it.
Instant Ralston. Instant Ralston.
The robot mastermind has the right idea, so get it today.
Instant Ralston. Instant Ralston. Instant Ralston. Instant Ralston.
And now for a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy have been locked in a building by two criminals who have blocked their only means of escape by pouring sodium-potassium alloy on the stairs. The liquid metal has burst into flame on contact with the air.
Commander, the heat is terrible.
We're going to face something worse than heat when the automatic fire extinguishing system starts to work.
But, sir, the water will put the fire out and we can escape.
Not with this alloy, Happy. It burns in air, but when water hits it, it explodes.
What?
The second that spray starts working, this whole building will be blown to bits.
Smoking rockets, unless we find a way out, that means we'll be blown to bits, too.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Lady from Venus, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! Now, gang, a word from Commander Buzz Corey.
Can you answer this question? What group of boys and girls are doing all they can to get grown-ups to donate more blood? These boys and girls are helping their country and having fun, too. They're my Space Patrol blood boosters. And I'd like you to join them today, right now. And here's something else I'd like you to do, too. Tell your mom and pop to buy the Christmas seals that the National Tuberculosis Association mails out. Christmas seals help fight TB. Just think, TB kills one person every 17 and a half minutes. So join the fight. Buy the beautiful Christmas seals of the National Tuberculosis Association.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Bela Kovac, Ken Mayer, and Norman Jolly. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new, exciting Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.